Come on, you slow ass. There we go. Welcome again, everyone. All my good friends on our second week of our Thursday afternoon extrava, whatever. We are. I'm just going to start doing this now early on Thursday afternoons because we have wonderful friends like my good buddy Ninja Knight here, who is on the other side of the world, and want to get to sort of a kind of a decent hour from some of our friends over there. I want to thank everyone who has popped in. I had, again, a marvelous time on my good buddy Cardinal Sin's channel yesterday. And, of course, also then after that on my good friend Ninja Knight's channel, there is a link in the description to his and many other wonderful people's channels below in my description. Please check all of those great channels out. And I want to, let's see here. Let's see what's coming up tonight. I'll be doing another one because my good old buddy Flash, who rode shotgun with me in the old BTR days, he and I don't get to do a show as much as we used to. So tonight we'll be doing another one. So I'll be back on later tonight in the late hours. I don't know, not too late. Maybe I think 8 or 9. I forgot when. I don't know.
I think it was 8 o'clock. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe so, something like that. But I want to
remind you half the time. So
yes, you did. You're my reminder. You're my reminder app. Anyway, I want to thank everyone who has popped in for us early. Like I say, it's a different time for us, so I don't know if I got the word out there properly or not, but there's some weirdo named Jed Tezzy Toady thing or something. I don't know who he is. No, he's my buddy Jed is here.
Yeah, let's
let me say my hellos to the chat here first, man. I get to you, man. I promise. You hate yourself. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you.
Oh, I'm terrible. You know that.
Yes, you're terrible. The wonderful Stephanie Janizek, very dear friend, and of course, also someone with an amazing, great channel. If you want all the Star Wars news and her wonderful live streams and the other things she does, and her thoughts on Star Wars and everything going on with Star Wars, please check her channel out. There is a description for hers, and as I said, many other wonderful people's channels in my description. There's some strange chat by R.N. Feliciano is in the chat, and he's also here with us. So just kidding, Raymond. And the great Eric K., the great wrench of the West. My good buddy Fat Steven Seagal is here with us. Yo, bro. I'm glad to see you, man. Thank you for popping in, buddy. It is always a pleasure to have you here. Polynese Binion is here. Both hands on the wheel there, my friend. Always good to see you. I say that to her every time. The beautiful, wonderful, magnificent Purple Valkyrie has popped in. My wonderful friend from Valhalla and Rise of the Valkyries, that great channel. Link down in the description below. The great Canadian wrench, Chris Persia, is here. Always a pleasure, my good friend. Thank you so much. One of my favorite names, and a new friend who's just started popping in a couple times, Dr. Hercumonkey. How do you not love that name, folks? that name is awesome. Good name. I love that name, man. I think that takes care of most of the people that have popped in there. But again, I am pleased to just do a little kind of fun open, free-range, open geek foolishness today with some good fellow geeks. With us today is, of course, not only a distinguished gentleman who wrenches for Doom and Conquer many other ones, but he's also an author who has a new book. By the way, there's a link to the description of and the information on his book, All's Fair, a Dolphin Wars novel. That is Mr. Raymond Feliciano. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Doing very wonderful. I had the day off and decided to join you on this geek. Hopefully we can spread out our geekness to talk some of my favorite stuff too.
We will get. Well, who knows where it will take us, my friend. But I appreciate you being here. And another distinguished gentleman who is from quite a distance, way over there, and one of those. Yes, there are other countries in the world, my good friends. Who knew it? But he's a good buddy who I had just a great time hanging out with on his amazing channel. He does great videos and he does streams. That is Mr. Ninja Knight. Had a great time with you yesterday, my friend, and I thank you so much for being here.
Much appreciated, man. And like I said, it was a great time that we had yesterday. I think I was only supposed to go on for about an hour, and then you came in, and we ended up talking, I think, for a subsequent hour and 40 minutes. It was wonderful stuff. And I think, it's great to talk to a fan who's been there since the beginning, like yourself, and someone that's so knowledgeable about all of the material. And I really appreciate you inviting me on tonight. It's a pleasure.
Well, pleasure is all mine, sir. You really do know your stuff as well. And, of course, we have mutual buddies out there with wonderful folks like the great Noel. We're always thinking about you, Noel, out there. Good vibes out to our buddy Noel with the Tartar Zone and the Irish Geek. And our buddy Problem being popped in with us yesterday. So we've got a lot of mutual pals and some great YouTubers here. And then there's this guy, Jed. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
It's
not like I haven't known you forever,
Before he was born.
Yeah. We've known each other for like 10, 15 plus years. So.
Wow, that's some time.
Yeah. We. Guess what the thing that brought us together was? It was the new 52.
Yeah, so that was
really.
It bonded us because we both hated it.
I keep getting the name wrong. It's the Screw 52, man. Come on.
Well, or they could call it the Poo 52.
Yes, that works. Yes.
DC was dead to me when they got rid of the Legion in its original form.
Oh,
me too, 1989. But they did a lot of other things that pissed me off. But as far as the Legion, they'd ruined it for then for sure.
Oh, speaking of, I've been looking at that future mess. Oh my God, it's terrible.
Oh, Future State.
Yeah, I've been looking at that Future State stuff. It's god awful. It's just,
to hell with that crap, man. The comics are dead, but
Future State. The Future State is an interesting thing. Like,
go ahead, didn't you?
Go ahead, Ninja. Sorry.
What I was going to say was, like, when you look at the future state is something that Dan Didio, and Didio, whichever way you want to say it, it's something that he put forward a couple of years ago. So it's very strange to see a company basically plagiarize what an individual they fired to do what he was going to do. It's very odd in itself. So I don't know why they decided to do what they did, but they're going to just see decline in sales even more. So, So very strange.
It's go woke, go broke is not just a fun saying. It is just really true. And DC and Marvel exemplify that as many others do. So, as far as comics, oh man, new comics are just, again, there's some alternatives, of course, like the Van Skyvers of the world, people like that doing the crowdfunded stuff.
And Graham Nolan.
Mike Barron, and was it your boy Zach, and
there's so many people. And who was it? You McShee. He's doing a reboot of She too.
Billy Tucci.
Denny Tucci is an awesome guy. I've got to meet him several times. You guys should all go support those guys because they're banging it out of part right now.
They're fantastic. But what's interesting about me is when you look at a comic industry, and it's something I did in my last Ronin video about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird come back to work together yet again, and they create this piece that's going to its third printing. Now, when I say third, people are listening and going, what do you mean by that? Third printing. So it's going to its third printing, and that's amazing. Like that is
it's like the original Ninja Turtles. It went up to like 4 or 5 prints, didn't it?
Ninja, are you saying if you please the fans of something that have been around for something 30-something years, it's actually can actually be profitable?
No.
Yes. Quite simply.
It don't say, really?
Give fans what they want. What's wrong with you, dude?
I know, right?
The people what they want, and the
Yeah.
people will purchase it. I mean, it's a weird business sense, and I mean, look, it's in different companies now at the moment. I talk about action figures as well too, and I mean, even Hasbro at the moment are limiting action figures to like Target, Walmart, Hasbro Pulse, where international buyers can't buy it, and I don't get that business model. It seems to be at every company now that they just want to keep it as niche and small as possible. It's quite strange. But yeah, very, very strange. Howard the Duck, though, I'll agree with Jed on that one. Howard the Duck is a pretty fun character.
Oh, I love Howard the Duck.
The comic book version. Mother Esh Singh, thank you for a good gentleman.
Hey,
Esh. Hey, buddy. Thank you for popping in, sir. Well, yeah, but see, the thing is, Ninja, Jed likes the movie, and the movie's funny. And
I like the movie and the comic. Okay,
he's just obsessed. Yeah, but you're obsessed with the movie, buddy. Let's face it.
No, the movie's awesome. You know.
Now we're
well, think about that. Hopefully, we're going to be doing something later on in a couple weeks down the line. So that's just a little hint for everybody out there. So
Paulie's probably is going to be doing it. That's for sure. Paulie and Tom from Midnight Central will be my friend Paulie of Latino Slant fame. He's has a great channel, and on Saturdays they do a bad movie show. Now I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but where they just basically the three of them, they get together and they watch 2 or 3 bad movies. Now again, not low hanging fruit like Plan 9 from Outer Space or something like that. They go for like a lot of times they'll reach back a little bit in time, but other times they'll pick out something that's pretty obscure or even some modern things, some really recent things that are really bad, and they have a go at it, if you will. Just the homework is you got to watch 2 or 3 bad movies and you sit and talk about them for a while.
I said to Paulie that he needs to do Girlfriend from Hell. Like, seriously.
Well, they got a big list, man. They're going to do whatever they can.
Yeah, I know.
So
he was flipping out the other day because I kept naming off all these movies, and Tom was like, "I'm so proud of you."
Right. So Howard the Duck is coming, man. You're going to get your wish. They're going to do Howard the Duck. If he has me on to do it, I promise I will do you justice.
I think they said, and Tom and Paulie were talking about this last night, because remember we talked about that. I think we're going to do Garbage Pail Kids and Howard the Duck together.
Yeah, they're going to do. Yeah, and if they have me on to do that with you, I promise I'll be very mean to Howard the Duck. No.
Oh no, dude. I like I said, I told Paulie and I told Tom this last night. Because back at that point when all those movies came out in VHS, and I even had the Ninja Turtles one, at one point I only had 3 movies. It was the Ninja Turtles movie, it was Garbage Pail Kids, and Howard the Duck. Because I moved and I lost all my VHS tapes. But my VHS player was still there, so I ran through those movies like every day because I didn't have cable either. So I literally wore the VHS tapes down, watching all 3 of those all the time. So. Well,
there you go, man. Well, we'll see what happens with those bad movies when the time comes. What about you, Raymond? Did you ever see Howard the Duck? The first Marvel movie, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
I actually did, and
he's one of the weird for me.
There's a ringing endorsement. I saw it at the theater back when it came out in '86, and one of the things, the most fun we had really was at the very beginning when all these stupid idiots who brought young kids were walking them out when they saw basically Duck naughty parts.
Oh yeah, I was cracking up because I was a kid at that point in my time when it came out. But my mom was like one of those cool moms that I was like, hey, I want to go to this, but it's like for a certain age. She's like, no, we can go see that. You want to go watch Predator? You want to go watch, Total Recall? Whatever. Let's go see it.
Oh, there you go. Ninja, Howard the Duck, the movie. Any thoughts on that? I'm sure you've seen it at some point, probably.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. Look, it's it is a bad movie. But I mean, it's not the worst. I've seen a lot of bad movies like Ghostbusters 2016. I've seen Captain Marvel. I've seen Wonder Woman 1984. They're all terrible movies. Some of the sequel trilogy has been terrible movies. But yeah, I think it's not too bad of a movie in terms of like it's an enjoyable, I suppose, hour or so worth of stuff, and you're just saying, "Oh well." But it definitely wouldn't rank up there amongst, I don't think, some of the worst films. I think some of the more recent things in the last couple of years certainly have been far worse than Howard the Duck. I think Howard the Duck gets off lightly there.
Well, Jed, I promise to you, you and I will just talk about the whole movie itself and just a whole show by itself one of these days. But
oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
But I love the comic though. I mean, I love the Steve Gerber comic
love
in the 70s. So.
I'm gonna have to go back and get into my books and read the whole run again because I have the whole run. So
as bad as well, we don't know what's going to happen with the MCU, of course, but it was kind of cool to see him in those two Guardians movies for a second.
Yeah. And then they never did anything with him, which
was he not in Endgame? Was he not near at the final battle?
They say
someone said he was there. Yeah.
I couldn't find him, but people have said that he is in that big battle.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's an Easter egg. I think he's an Easter egg on it. Yeah.
He deserves his own movie. Like, come on, you've been hyping him up for 2-3 movies.
You know, like Seth Green did his voice.
Yeah.
And Seth Green, controversially, he stepped in then as Leonardo for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show for Nickelodeon after they removed Jason Biggs, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they cancelled Jason Biggs, I think, over something. I think it was pretty. Yeah. Was it pretty innocuous or was it something really bad? I don't quite recall the incident.
It was for screwing the apple pie, so you know.
So no, I didn't know about that. But, Howard the Duck, though. Yeah, we'll see. It would be nice to see him at least put him in the next Silly Guardians movie since they're silly anyway.
Yeah, I think he would fit in. With
he was actually in the first one.
Yeah, most of them. He was in both of them. First two.
Yeah.
I never caught him on the second one.
And the second one is a real brief scene on that, whatever that planet was where the Ravagers were toward the beginning, where he's basically talking to a woman. Once you go quack, you never go back, or some kind of crappy shit to her.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, dude, there's my boy Howard right there, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah. So, but anyway, well, let's see, gents. I guess. All right, look, we got WandaVision coming on tomorrow. Now
tonight, actually.
Well, no, it's actually considered tomorrow because it drops at midnight. But it's hard to be pedantic.
1 a.m. for me, so
which would be tomorrow, sir. See, you're wrong, sir. You're out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole
oh my god.
But you were showing me something when you showed me that, and I won't mention it here because there is a spoiler out there for anyone who is watching WandaVision and interested.
Oh, Fat Steven just showed up in chat and said F Funko in WandaVision because we were talking about it. Yeah.
And by the way, I owe you an apology, my good friend Fat Steven. Yesterday I showed you that picture from that Funko ad. We were talking a little bit about this before we all started, and we'll talk about this again for a sec. There is toy companies do this all the time.
Yeah.
Where they will put out a toy. Obviously, with these orders for these toys by these companies are done well in advance. They want them to coincide or sometimes predate a film coming out or whatever it is, So, and sometimes it contains spoilers. I remember Batman Mask of the Phantasm, the greatest Batman movie ever made.
Yes.
Had a toy.
Huge spoiler. Yeah, huge spoiler.
And if you haven't seen it yet, I won't spoiler it. But there's a toy that came out that basically told you a big reveal in the film, and it came out before the film. That's happened many times, though. Like our buddy Ninja Knight was just telling us before The Mandalorian. You were telling us again, tell me what you were basically telling us about with Grogu and Jon Favreau.
Yeah, Jon Favreau put out basically a statement within the company, which was don't make any product related to the child whatsoever so that we can keep it a surprise. Now, like I said beforehand, looking at what's happened with Hasbro, particularly with the Star Wars license and how late that they actually signed and re-signed, I should say, up to Star Wars, and the fact that they're doing repaints now could suggest that they maybe didn't think The Mandalorian was going to be a success and as successful as it was. So to me, I think that was probably a nice way for them to cover it in a little way. But I do actually think that Jon Favreau did put that sort of out there and say, look, don't show anybody anything related to this because we want to keep it a surprise. And to be fair to them, they did. And I mean, even with Luke Skywalker in season 2, like I had heard long before. I think I'm on one of Noel's streams where I was like, they've signed Mark Hamill signed his likeness off to a company, and I was like, that's kind of unusual. And then he pops up then, of course, in Mandalorian season 2. But yeah, it's happening with a lot of things. I said before the show as well with Transformers. We've gotten designs of the Transformers that have popped up in toy form before the movies came out. Same with Jurassic World. I think we knew the Indominus Rex was going to be the main villain of the movie purely because the toys. It's happened so many times beforehand.
Yes.
And I think it's par for the course at this stage, and I'm surprised. Like, I mean, there's a toy spoiler running around there now for Captain America, or well, not Captain America, but the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because obviously Cap Shield is going to be important in that, along with US Agent. So there's a spoiler running around in the form of a toy out there. Now, I don't think it's going to shock anybody, but still, it's there, and the show is nowhere near complete.
Yeah, well, it's a shame, man. By the way, hail to the great Retro Dickie, our good friend. Thank you for popping in, my friend. Fat Steven, I know, buddy, but I still feel kind of bad laying that on you. You'd have found out either way. I understand that Funko screwed up, but
I gotta say,
I'm sorry it sucked the fun out of the show for you, man. I hope you still get some enjoyment out of it.
Well, I was telling you, Clobberin. At least there was, when I got on, was it this morning it was this morning. I had like at least 10 messages from WandaVision with that in my inbox. I was like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think our buddy Ninja broke it before anybody. And but again, it was out there and it was going to be out there, and we all would have found out some way. And it's another film they did it with Ninja was remember Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, first one?
Yes,
He came out with a Ra's al Ghul toy, which of course was the Easton. And of course, that's a reveal in the movie.
Well, they actually did it twice, actually, now, because now that you reminded me, because they did the exact same thing with Harvey Dent's Two-Face in the second movie. They revealed a figure in the movie Masters line that had Aaron Eckhart's portrait and half the face blown off the way it was in the movie, and people were like, is this Two-Face? It's just like, oh yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, that was long before too.
Toy companies screw up like royally, like seriously.
Yeah. You're right.
Well, you see, what happens with them is they have to get. What happens with toy companies is they get the concept art usually about 6 months to about a year before the movie is released. Sure. So, for example, for the Marvel Legends figures that they did for the Black Order with Thanos, Ebony Maw, Cull Obsidian, or Black Dwarf, if you want to call him that, Proxima Midnight, and Corvus Glaive, they got preliminary art. So by the time that the figures were pushed out and they were marketed, they had significantly changed in the way they looked. Now, just over Christmas there, Marvel Legends released the figures again with slight updates to the molds and remolds to the figures so that they were closer in appearance to what was shown on screen. And I mean, it's the same thing that's been happening with Transformers. They've gotten the studio series now that's very much so like what we've seen on screen versus what originally was produced, because the toy company at the time didn't know how to put what was on screen into an action figure form. But we do see a lot of times where we have, like, there might be a symbol on a box that you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that guy was a bad guy, or he's going to turn to be a bad guy in the movie. Like they have Jetfire as an Autobot, and a lot of kids obviously would look at that and go, but he has a Decepticon symbol on him. How come he's an Autobot? Well, it's because he switches sides,
Wait, didn't they do that for one of the Star Wars movies too, where they put a picture or they put an icon or something? I remember this because I was they've done it recently with the Black Series with Hondo. I think they've put him with the Rebels and with the Empire, which is quite weird. It's like, oh well, I suppose because he's in the middle between the two of them. But yeah, they do that all the time where they have they've individuals that they put a symbol on the box, and people are like, wait a minute. Yeah, it happens. Wait, they did that. They did that to the Phantom Menace too. I remember that. That was a huge spoiler for the Phantom Menace because when I got all the toys from that still, the first copies. And they did so, and I remember, and I was like, wait a second, that looks odd.
I mean, spoilers don't really bother me that much, but this one, the thing that we're talking about here with the Funko thing in the case of WandaVision, all of us were, in other words, now that we see this, we go, well, we figured that was it, but still, it wasn't confirmed until if they hadn't done that, there would be no confirmation until you see it on the show or or wherever.
Yeah, and
Now we know.
We were just speculating, especially me, because I've been speculating ever since the first week.
Everything's speculation till you see it.
Yeah, and then now they kind of confirmed it. And you're like, okay, then we got 2 episodes left.
Yeah. Well, we get 2. No, we get 2 episodes this week, and then there. After that, there are. I think
2 episodes this week.
Wait, there's 2 episodes this week?
They're dropping 2 this week. I don't know why. That's what I have been told.
Wow.
So yeah, 2 a.m. I'll be up watching it here. You'll be you at 1 a.m. Jed.
Dude, hey, Mark, we should watch it together.
After I watch it, I'm gonna go to sleep and then watch it again when I'm more awake the next morning.
Very good. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be nuts, man.
Yeah, and there are people who drop spoiler stuff. Okay, 5 episodes left. There are people who drop spoiler stuff at 7 a.m. on Friday.
Yeah.
I know Fat Steven Seagal was upset about the spoilers that came out, but are people? I know it's going to sound the way it's going to sound, but are people taking this show as seriously as as they can with this? Because for me, they're 2 very bland characters, and they're very bland actors that are playing these characters. And I've said that to you guys before. They're good characters overall, but I think it's just I find this series very bland. And finally, now that the ball has gotten rolling to something happening, we've gotten a leaked trailer. Now, I personally think when they do things like that, I don't think coincidence for me don't happen. And the reason why I think these images dropped, I think why the leaked trailer dropped, I think is to gather interest in this series, because I don't know, you get tweets and you get them trending and stuff but you can't really get a real marker on if this is a success or not. Until you see excitement like that, with the certain spoilers that are there, Now I'm excited. Yeah. Now I'm excited knowing about the show, about what's supposedly in it, rather than going week to week. Oh yeah, if it's going to get good,
I can say this. Okay, it's going to do 2 things. It's either going to make people more interested, but then it's also going to do the same thing to what Fat Steven. He was super interested in the show. Now he has no interest. So it's a double-edged sword right there. Okay. Yeah. And it could also screw you up because knowing there's 5 episodes left, you might lose half your audience now because, we already know what's going to happen.
Well, most people aren't going to see that. Let's face it. Geeks look, the geeks who see that ad and the people who are interested in, I personally hate Funkos, but the geeks, people who see that ad are going to watch it anyway, and normies won't see it and won't know what it means anyway and won't care. So that won't affect them. Now, what did I say when
what did I say when you talked to me about it? The first words out of my mouth.
I don't know. You said go to hell or something.
No. The first thing I was like, well, we kind of called it. I was like,
everyone said that. But we didn't call anything. We speculated and probably
Well,
I think I'll throw this one out to the panel and see what you guys think. Me and Clobby kind of talked about it last night, and it was, given the individual that's supposed to be turning up in this, and there's another character in Marvel that's a prominent Marvel character that is linked to that individual due to the fact that he's a flaming skull head. How do you think that they're going to fit that guy into this universe? I know they've talked about introducing him into the multiverse now with this Doctor Strange movie. What do you think
there's more than one flaming skull head person in Marvel.
He's basically referring to Ghost Rider, and like we talked about yesterday, dude. Yeah. I would be surprised if they have the guts to use Ghost Rider now.
Yeah, because
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ruined the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, well, that was based on the crappy comic, but you're right. That Ghost Driver.
But see, what's interesting about the Ghost Driver is he technically has a helmet, and that's something that they've been doing in the Marvel movies. Look, when you look at Crossbones, for example, the difference in design for him, and now Taskmaster. So they could get away with it if it was Robbie Reyes, I think. But if they were going to go with the OG JB, Johnny Blaze, I don't know how they're going to introduce him if he's adorning the skull essentially on his head, and then as well as subsequently you'll have Danny Ketch. So to me, I don't know how they're going to introduce that individual, because as we all know, they're afraid of introducing certain, kind of looks for a certain country.
Yeah, they don't like the skull image either now. Certain things. By the way, greetings to DD Myers and Smart Steve. What do you think about that, Raymond? You think they're gonna? They would, because we're talking about. We know that Marvel now. I don't know if you're familiar, but they're afraid of, because they're a bunch of PC pansies. Let's face it.
Oh,
They don't
yeah.
like that. They're already running away from the Punisher emblem, and they're anything to do with the skull. Would they bring back Johnny Blaze with the skull, or would they change? Even if they did, would they change it from the skull to something else?
I wish we weren't having this conversation because a skull's a skull. Yeah, it's tied into that. But come on, we know and revile that history. But I don't know. I tend to think that they're probably going to find a way to. They may go the Dormammu route, which would not be a bad thing.
Yeah,
it may not be a bad thing, but they better put it in the proper context.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think kind of Ninja probably could pretty much hit it really, that it's going to be probably a friggin' helmet like Ghost Driver, some kind of helmet thing with just the burning inside, so they can get away from having a skull because they're a bunch of friggin' pansies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, and there's nothing without precedent, and the Marvel Legends team have talked about their next HasLab project that they like. A lot of people are saying that they want Galactus, sorry, and they would really love to see that. And the Marvel Legends team themselves were like, well, we'd like to do Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider with the car, and it's just like, well, there's two things don't happen. That doesn't just happen for no reason, particularly because Robbie's not in circulation at the moment, really. So to me, that's like setting a precedent of like, well, we're planning on doing Robbie Reyes with the car, and HasLab, like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. This looks like it's going to come up like the X-Men Sentinels that they've just done with the HasLab promotion. They're going to be bringing the X-Men in eventually, but according to Rob Liefeld, they don't seem to be wanting to do that anytime soon.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we'll see. I think that if they do, I don't know. I pretty much think, that they're going to be really chicken. All the decisions made by Marvel right now, by Feige and all those guys are all going to be skittish.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of chicken shit crap, really. Project Story Time is here. Hey.
And
I think that's why you're saying.
Yeah,
I think it's why you're saying the return to Evans as Cap, if that's going to be the case, because, I mean, are they going to really promote Mackie if he becomes Cap? Not sure, because look what they've done to Star Wars with Finn. Look what they've done to Sam Jackson's Nick Fury. Look what they did to allegedly who was behind the Taskmaster mask for Black Widow. Very little promotion, shrinking on the posters. So are you going to be promoting Anthony Mackie as Cap? Not sure about that.
Well, we need Bucky Cap in our lives. Just saying.
We know what we need is, and I've made this argument before. We need Bucky Barnes to take up the mantle of Black Panther. It's so easy to do now within that Marvel
I
universe.
have agreed with Ninja on this one. It's like me and him don't agree on a bunch of things, but I agreed with him, and I love him like a brother. But I agreed with him on that one.
You ist you.
Yeah.
Well, you see, for me, it's the intertwining of what he's done with Black Panther, and I think I've said to you guys before, but I don't know if Raymond's heard it. But my version of events would be, he's so intertwined with the Black Panther history and story now within the MCU that he even goes to Wakanda and they basically reprogram his mind. They also give him a vibranium arm, and that's a big setting, and that's something we hear from Ulysses Claw, that this is a character that, these are characters in Wakanda that do not trust outsiders. They will not just give anybody the vibranium, and they give Bucky a whole arm. So who better than to take up the mantle of the Panther if T'Challa goes missing? And for me, what I would do is, I would nearly do a Jason Bourne type movie where the backs of like Shuri's against the wall, T'Challa's gone missing, someone's trying to invade. Bucky takes up the mantle as the Panther because he's a super soldier with the super soldier serum or a variation of it within his system. And what he does is then they might go on a journey for another heart-shaped herb for Shuri by the end of the movie. And he becomes her like kind of bodyguard, similar to what, James Rhodes, the War Machine, was to Tony Stark's Iron Man. And I think that could be a brilliant story that they could utilize, but if they do it correctly. Now, we do know you're going to get people and saying, "Oh my God, you're putting a white man into a black man's a Black Panther suit, like in a black role, essentially." And it's like, no, the idea is for him to help out and then hand the role back then to Shuri when the time is right. And I think you could write it cleverly. I think it would be a very good idea, personally.
Yeah,
I think that's the key. I'm seeing just a lot of crap in the genre just to punch a tag or for the diversity. Whatever happened to the good stories?
Yeah.
Whatever
they're
happened
on
to
the
good
back burner,
stuff?
man.
Well,
Like
we left-
instead of like that'd be wouldn't that be a risk?
Right, Ray.
Wouldn't that be a risk taking Bucky as Black Panther?
Oh,
Like that
yeah.
would be like who would think of like I mean I know he's been the White Wolf within the comics himself, but wouldn't it be a risk if they totally flipped it on its head and did something like that and then said right okay now it's going back, the mantle is going back to a rightful owner that's from Wakanda? I think that would be absolutely fantastic as a story. And again, you could pull on the War Machine story that wasn't really given to us with him and Iron Man, whatever, for whatever reason they decided not to give us Tony's essential alcoholism, which I think would have been a very good factor for the character. But to me, yeah, there's a lack of risks being taken at Marvel. I think it's going to be eventually their downfall in the MCU. I think this show is certainly a risk. When you think about the budget of this show, it's 150 million, and the Mandalorian season 2 was 120 million. Doesn't look like it's $30 million worth more, does it?
honestly, and I will say this honestly, it doesn't.
No.
It really doesn't.
Hail to Mando Mark, thanks for popping in. And of course, the great Steve Mitchell, my great old buddy, has popped in with us as well. No, but see, the thing is, Raymond, you're talking, and Ninja, you're saying, I'm with all of it. We all know they'll never have the guts to do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
They will never have the guts to do what you're talking about, ever. Especially not with a character like Black Panther. But yeah, and here's the problem though. You mentioned how you were talking about like the War Machine thing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The movies, and these are comic book characters. Now, to a lot of the masses now, these are not. Someone wouldn't know what a comic book if you beat them in the face with it. So
yeah,
these are characters that are movie characters, largely for the MCU in particular. Now, we all know that if you read comics, Kip Ellis, thanks for popping in, that these movies, whether you like them or not, MCU or you're into them, they're popular, but they're Cliff Notes compared to comics. They don't get anywhere near the depth or of story, anywhere near all the lore. They have to do everything in their nuggets. They're chunks.
Well, if you go and look at Infinity Gauntlet, oh my God, do you know how much stuff is there? That it's just
they basically use titles and they cherry pick little bitty bits tiny bits and pieces. I'm not saying that's so much wrong. I mean, there's only so much time when you have a movie, a couple hours every couple of years for a character.
Yeah.
I mean, the Avengers. There's 1, 2, 3 freaking movies over the course of almost 8 years, whatever. So you don't get a lot of bites at the apple, and that's the thing about a TV show's different. But a movie, you don't have a lot of time, so they're only going to give you little bitty chunks. And if you're a comics fan who's really into that stuff, you do have to kind of go in there realizing that, look, I'm not going to get. You might get for example, I would argue that Winter Soldier is as deep as it's ever going to get for a comic book film.
yeah.
There's a lot of meat there. That's more meat than you almost ever get with a comic book related film, but usually not going to get that. But even with that, it's still an action, adventure, genre film. So you're not going to get a lot of lore. You're not going to get a lot of. I don't want to use the word substance because I think that's a very substantive film, but there are many other Marvel films and DC films, for that matter, that aren't a lot of substance but are very entertaining and a lot of fun. And that's what a comic book movie really needs to be that first. I mean, still, Winter Soldier is still fun. There's a lot of fun in it. Yeah. But it's also a lot of seriousness in it. But you're just not going to get, if you want the depth of long histories and lores from that, you're just not going to get it from a movie. It's not going to happen. Ever.
Here's the thing about what you just said. They're going to put Armor Wars into a TV series and do it within 10 episodes. I heard. Yeah.
Well,
we all know how long Armor Wars was too, and how in depth it was.
Years.
So I don't understand how they're going to do Armor Wars within 8 to 10 episodes. And Tony's not even going to be in it. So why?
Not. Why would he?
Well, I
they
think
conveniently killed him.
Yeah, there's a precedent though. They could have him back at some stage, because I think now, I honestly think, and I've been saying to you guys for a while, I think with everything that's going on, and you're seeing certain actors sign up to certain projects that you probably wouldn't have assumed that they would have done beforehand, or they would have played it a little bit out. I think there's people that are sweating for some money, and I think that there's people that will do it. And in my opinion, I don't think we're too far off to seeing RDJ coming back, because remember the last movie that he's done is Dr. Dolittle. That didn't do too well. So Yeah, but like I mean, you're thinking of it like, is the movie star, and Gary at Nerd Rotic says it very often, like the movie star is done. He's like, Tom Cruise is probably the last one. He's like, people ain't going to movies anymore that are just to see that one individual. Now they need a character that's a bona fide character behind it. And I think if you're seeing, Chris Evans allegedly return as Captain America, that's not interesting me too much, because I don't particularly have any love for him as an actor or as a person, nor his version of Captain America. But I think if they brought Tony back, I'm all in. I think that's what they're going to
do. If they brought him back as Iron Man, and like you said, I want him to do the alcoholism.
They already did Demon in a Bottle in like 3 minutes in that stupid Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I want more deep cuts like they've done with WandaVision, or Winter Soldier. Those are the only two things that they have actually took deep cuts from the comics in. Like literally out of 10 years of Marvel movies since they started, except for the first Iron Man, because I like the first Iron Man. So we can put Iron Man in there with these other two. And those are the only 3 things they actually took deep cuts from the comics in out of 10 years. That's pathetic.
When you're talking about movies,
yeah.
As long as you got 2 hours every couple of years, it's not going to have a lot of lore. It's not going to have a lot of depth. And you can make a depthful, substantive, meaningful movie. With a superhero, I'm sorry, it's really not that easy, because we're still talking about superheroes. I know we all get wrapped up in wanting to see our superheroes done in an intelligent and sometimes mature way. It's very difficult because a lot of their core concepts are not all that mature in terms of storytelling, but you can do it. But sometimes you take too much out of the superhero when you go that direction. It's fine, but you don't. But with a series, you have time to flesh out characters and story. With 2 hours, you usually don't. So they're just going to go for the big explosions and the big, the big fights. And by the way, we kind of want to see superheroes and big explosions and fights.
Yeah,
that's nothing wrong with that. But that's what you get from a movie. You hope to get some fun out of it, but you're rarely going to get a lot of substance out of this WandaVision thing, whether it turns out great or not. You do have 10 episodes. Is not a lot, but it's the time to progress a story. So that format actually intrigues me, because it's closer to like a comic book type of format that we comic books do. Whether the show turns out to be great or not, that format should be the way. I would like to see that be the way they go with superheroes more. But
I'm with you on that one. I think if it's a good bridge between one story to the next, absolutely. But I think what happens then is, because what we've seen over the last couple of years is, for example, when you're looking at, say, Sons of Anarchy or Breaking Bad or anything like that, you get this episodic, tale where you're going from week to week going, this is absolutely amazing. And Game of Thrones was that way in the early days. It was like, oh my God, this is episodic. It's fantastic. And they're hour-long nearly episodes, and you're saying to yourself, like, this is better than a movie. I'm getting more out of these characters. And I'm definitely getting into these characters of who they are. But I don't think there's enough good writers around, particularly at Disney, and essentially as well too at Marvel and Star Wars. And we've just seen that way. Like, I mean, they're talking about now, will WandaVision have a season 2? I don't think there's room for it to be a season 2. And I mean, when you look at them, there's none. But when you look at the Mandalorian, you say to yourself, right, season 1, I particularly liked season 1, and then season 2 was like, oh shit, what do we do now? Like, we'll bring in Ahsoka Tano. Okay, we'll bring in Bo-Katan. We'll bring in this person. We'll bring in that person. It's like season 2 should have legitimately just been about Boba Fett, teasing Boba Fett's return, and then nearly near the end, there's an episode or something like that features Fett, and you're like, oh my God, he's back. You know what I mean? And that to me should have been, if you were cleverly writing that season, that should have been how it went. But they decided to mix in too many characters, and it came off looking really bad. And I think that these TV shows have the propensity to do the same thing. I think they could go too far, and it's just like, oh no, like, and they could introduce people that you're like, am I interested?
Well, here's the thing, Ninja, that they did. They painted themselves into a corner at the end of season 2, even though there were people out there that would say, because there is no more Baby Yoda in the show. So what is going to be? Baby Yoda was basically the crutch that was making the show stand. They took the crutch out, kicked it out from underneath them. That's basically the reason why people were staying. It wasn't for Mando. It was for the guest stars, and it was for Baby Yoda. They've literally cut out one of the main parts of the show. I'm going to be interested to see how season 3 goes, because it's probably going to be terrible.
That's why I'm thinking they're taking 2 years out I think that's why it's 2 years out there. I think they're thinking to themselves, what are we going to do here? I think the way they ended season 2 certainly spoke to me like it was like they thought that was it.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
A big shout out to Cam. Sorry about that, man. Just saying, listening, can't really. Cam, I appreciate the kind words, and we love having you here. And thank you so much. Be careful out there on the road.
Yeah, thank you, Cam. I know you listen to me, Clobberin, Noel. He listens to all of us. So much love out to Cam for listening to everybody. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you guys, I think that Raymond is just absolutely beside himself with excitement over the possibility of a Fantastic Four movie. I'm just kidding, but the FF is. Are you like me? Go ahead, Raymond.
I'm skeptical but optimistic. If it's what I've heard, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
What have you been hearing? What have you been hearing, Raymond? Let us know.
I heard that Sue Storm had a relationship with Namor, and Franklin Richards is their son, and I was ready to blow up my computer.
Oh, man.
I was so ready.
Did you backtrack on that one more time?
Okay. One of the rumors I heard was the backstory before the movie is that Sue Storm, because they've been talking about making Namor an Atlantean of color, and they're gonna bootleg into the Sue Storm or the Sue / Namor sexual tension, and Franklin Richards is going to be their son as opposed to Reed and Sue.
I can't.
Oh my God, dude!
That's worse than making Johnny Storm. It's worse than making Johnny Storm what they did in Fan.
It's worse than anything. But I gotta tell you something. I'm not surprised by that. Before we get back to that, I do want to address my friend Stephanie Genesek's point. And thank you, Steph. Steph says you guys are missing the fact of what happened in the last episode. She's speaking of a Mandalorian, I believe. Yeah. Who has Black Saber of the Dark Saber Mando. That's the whole crux of the third season. I think it'll be fantastic. It might. I'm not arguing with that.
Well, here's the thing. That it's broken. It's broken in season 2, dude. And Stephanie, unfortunately, it's broken because the episode that Bo-Katan gets introduced in, she's like, you don't have to follow silly rules when he's talking about the helmet. He's like, I have to wear the helmet. The helmet's the way, and this is the way. And she says, you don't have to follow silly rules. And then he literally, at the end of the last episode, is like, I'm giving you the dark saber. And she's like, no, it's rules. We have to follow them. It's like the internal inconsistency with Dave Filoni.
I was just about to say that. They broke their own rules in the show. Yep. That's the reason why I said season 3 might be disastrous.
Yeah, it might be, but it might not be. I mean,
this is Dave Filoni. This is Dave Filoni all over. Dave Filoni breaks consistency with himself, and as you just seen it within a couple of episodes within the same season. He's ridiculous. He's as big a problem as Kathleen Kennedy, and I will absolutely stand on that hill 100%. He's one of the people, the architects behind it. He is the emperor, I think. He is in there behind there pulling the strings of all of this nonsense, because he's one of the people that's been behind Rey, and he's also been very prominent in keeping Ahsoka alive against George's wishes, even though she breaks canon. So
George wanted her gone years ago, like a long time ago. So
well, Stephanie thinks it's going to be great, and you don't have an argument out of me either way.
Yeah, there's no. And Stephanie, that's awesome, because this is the thing, and I keep saying this. I say this on Noel. I say this on my stream. I say this. The thing about what makes us great is we're not going to trash or bash Stephanie for what she's thinking, or Ninja, or anybody else. No. We all just talk and discuss. We're not going to complain or bitch or you're a bad person or you're.
No, dude, look, let me tell you something. I definitely am guided by Stephanie's views on a lot of things, because she's been writing about a lot of stuff. So, and she is really passionate about this. So I don't agree or disagree. In fact, I think she might have a good point. I think it could be really good. So I'm not saying you're wrong either, Ninja. I don't know. But
there's possibilities that it could be good, but for
Yeah.
me, beyond season 2, I think with the inconsistencies and the member berries that they spread throughout season 2, I can't see season 3 being any better. I think it's only going to get worse. It's going to be kind of like some of the TV series we've been seeing over the last while. You know, season 2 takes a big rocker, like the likes of The Boys, the way The Boys did, and I think it's going to be the same. It's like Westworld. You know, personally, I think that's how I feel.
Well, the first season of Westworld was pretty good, and then
First season of Westworld
downhill.
was excellent.
And it just second season and then third season it just shit the bed, like just all over the place.
right.
Absolutely.
I'm willing to wait and see on Mando.
Yeah.
And you know, all the other stuff. Willing to wait and see what happens. I mean, who knows?
I just want to see Boba Fett. Like the Boba Fett one is the one that I'm into. Like,
Yeah, I want to see that. I'm interested in that because I want to see where they take that. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
got my attention. But like I say, you know, Stephanie definitely knows where she's talking about, and she's knows her stuff when it comes to Star Wars and a lot of insider stuff there. So hey, I hope
and
she's
Stephanie,
optimistic about it.
hell Stephanie, because Stephanie is awesome too. Like, I will say this: every person in chat, every person on the panel, all of it, we're awesome because we don't fight with one another. We just
All right,
Well,
we understand.
we discuss and we talk about it. That's what makes it great, you know. So,
Absolutely. Well, look, I don't know. I don't have any strong opinions on anything coming out right now because it's every time I think I believe something about when it comes to the Star Wars stuff,
they do another 360 or
wait
180 or whatever. You know?
I wait to see now when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted to address what she said there. Like I said, everyone has their opinions on it. I mean, see, I've had this stuff. I've had things that I love destroyed so many times.
Yeah.
It's funny. It just started over the past decade, started happening to the big stuff. When I say the big stuff, I mean the big stuff. Star Wars is as big as it gets. Star Trek is very big. Doctor Who is very big. Those are, some could say.
I would say if it were to be the big three, it would be Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who.
That's what I'm saying. Before those started getting shit all over and destroyed, it was happening to me in the smaller realms, but in still fandoms, comic books. And, mainly in comics for the longest time. A few other things here and there, but mainly in comics. And so you didn't hear a lot of noise other than from comic book geeks.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it started happening to Star Trek, and there was a lot of fights and noise going on with that. Then it happened to the granddaddy of them all, Star Wars. And that's when you started hearing a lot of fans really getting on the same page about their something they love being destroyed. Then Doctor Who, and we saw the really nastiness of how a lot of the Doctor Who fans are, stuff like that.
Oh, that's on a different level, dude.
Different level. The nastiness from the Doctor Who, from the Jodie Watts and people like that, are just like you say. But it's still fairly recent. But so I guess from now, I guess it's made me cynical. And if you say, if something positive comes out, like for The Mandalorian, and then that last scene with Luke or what have you, or someone tells me there's something positive coming out with Star Wars, until I see it, I'm always like, well, I really hope so. I want to be optimistic, but I'm always expecting the shoe to drop. Not just Star Wars.
Yeah.
Doctor Who,
I say that same exact thing.
Star Trek, all of it.
Yeah.
I always expect what I love to get stamped on and destroyed. I know it sounds terrible, but when I hear people tell me encouraging things, like Stephanie does many times on their videos and stuff, when she comes on here with me, or Doomcock or Gary or whatever, anyone, if they come out with something that looks like it could be a positive ray of sunshine or some kind of hope here and there, then I'll gather a little strength from it here and there. But I'll be cautious. I'll be cautious.
Well, like when Doomcock said that they want to erase the trilogy, but they want to replace it in a way that it's not so toxic and harmful. Because literally, that's what brought all that crap about. That split the whole Star Wars fandom. You know?
But I don't know about like Doomcock is right in what he's saying. But I think if you're Disney, if I was running Disney now, I would absolutely erase it. I'd be like, okay, lads, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We're gonna just redo it, and you will get hate, you will get vitriol from people on Twitter, people that don't purchase anything, they don't get involved with the merchandise, nothing like that. And I think then you just roll on, and you're gonna get the fans back on board. Look at what's happened. Here's a brilliant example, right? I've talked to you guys earlier on about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles gone to its third print. That's on its third print now by people that love it. The rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is detested by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fandom. And that is not doing well. They're doing a movie out of that now on Netflix to just shove it in somewhere to give it some sort of ending to people that did watch it. And I mean, from what I understand, the ratings for that weren't great. But I think what the companies need to do is need to take a step back and start saying to themselves, okay, what's going to please fans? Like, I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. They're after employing a guy now who is known for a track record of failure, bad dads, basically everything that Nerdrotic talks about. This guy ticks the boxes for it, and problems with certain things. They've hired this guy to oversee, be the Kevin Feige of the Power Rangers universe. Like, why have you hired a person with zero track record? And then what bugs me then is, like, you have Power Rangers fans that were yesterday when I was on Twitter, they were like, well, who do you expect, like James Cameron? And I'm like, why shouldn't you aim for James Cameron? Like, I mean, what's the problem? Like, why wouldn't you aim for someone high? That would be my thing. Like, and it was even like when Michael Bay came on Transformers, it was like, we're getting the guy who did The Rock and he was doing Bad Boys, and I'm like, fantastic, that guy has a pedigree, So that's what I want on Power Rangers. But again, then you get someone with their own ideas like Rian Johnson, and then they come in and totally upset the apple cart, and it's strange.
Yeah.
Well, and here's we all love. Like, I'm a Power Rangers fan too, because I used to watch it with my adopted, my stepbrothers and sisters when they were younger. So I would watch it with them. I love Tommy. Tommy's like my favorite Power Ranger because all the stuff he's gone through over the years and stuff. They need to get somebody, and I've said this. You need to get somebody that actually was back in the day, watched the show, and intensely loves it. That is an awesome writer, where you can actually come in, and I guarantee you the fans would come in droves, just like with the new Ninja Turtles comic. That comic is awesome. I've oh my god, and I've been a Ninja Turtles fan since, like, I've been a fan of everything since day one, since it came out, basically all the main stuff, or I was born into it because my dad or my mother was into it. So they need to get people that are passionate, that actually know about canon, about world building, about writing, about just being passionate. Because everybody in this panel and everybody in chat, we're all passionate people. That's certain. They're like, well, people complain. No, we're passionate because we love everything. We just want to see it do good. And if you can continue the virtual signal and to do everything else, you're just going to lose all the fans and everything else, man. Absolutely. If you want to make money, get somebody that actually knows what the hell they're bloody doing. And you will have fans. Like, the end of The Mandalorian kind of proved it right there, dude. Yeah. Like, Luke came back, and then everybody was like, I don't know what to think, because I was like, okay, like with Clobberin, I was like, that's cool, but I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, because we know how we've been treated by Star Wars in the past 5 years, right? So
exactly.
Let's be honest.
But that's how I felt about the whole Ahsoka thing, dropping her in and Bo-Katan. I was like, oh no, like this show has been so good. It's introduced new character in Cara Dune. It's introduced new character in Grief Karga, Quill, characters that I loved. And I was like, these are totally new, different characters, and I'm loving this. And season 2 was like, hey, remember Ahsoka? And it's like, oh no, like, not this character now that should have been gone a long time ago. And then Bo-Katan, another one. And I'm like, oh no. I was like, this is it now. Like, I have to say, like, The Mandalorian season 2, first couple of episodes I really enjoyed. When those characters start popping up, I was like, nah, done, out of here, not interested.
Yeah.
And it hurts the I suppose the goodwill that I'd have with that show going forward. And that would be the way I would think of it. But I've just seen the chat there, Steve was talking about calling us ists and stuff like that in relation, but like they wouldn't want Luke Cage to suddenly change to a white guy. Absolutely. And then I feel the same way about Blade and Jon Stewart's Green Lantern. I never want those characters changed in the slightest, and it's something me and Clobby talked about last night, like what they've done to Tim Drake. If you want to bring in a new character, a character that fits that actor's profile, bring in Calderon. who's going to be Aqualad.
And it bothers me about this new Blade they're coming out. They're saying Blade's going to be PG. You cannot do Blade PG.
No, you cannot.
Seriously.
They were worrying about the people that are going to write it. They were like, so the people that are going to write it are going to look like Mahershala Ali, and I'm like, what? Like, you're not getting the best people.
Like,
no, I mean, no. It's some silly stuff. We have what's it? Our friend, I think Steph will join us in a sec just to tell a little bit about our little Star Wars stuff because she's got something to say about that, and she's a good friend. Okay. I want her to get her say on that. But before she pops up, the thing you're talking about with Tim Drake. Oh,
yeah. That hurt. You know,
stuff like that. Here we go. We got we have my good friend Steph Janizek is here. Steph, the panel, Raymond, Knight, and Jet.
Hey, Steph.
Hey, how you be? Good to see you.
Oh, I'm doing good. Lots of stuff going on. Today was interesting. I had to take my dog to the vet to be vet test for his day at the doctor's where he gets to be turned into a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Getting rid of the boys.
Poor guy.
Yeah. He weighs 91 pounds. He's 7 months old. We have to do something about that. He's a really big dog. He's huge.
Go, Jack.
Yeah, Mr. Cole. He's a big fella. Anyway,
this is one of my authorities on Star Wars. I always defer to Stephanie on a lot of the stuff. So please go ahead, Steph.
Well, about The Mandalorian, I personally liked season 2 better. Mm-hmm. The reason why is because you could see the feelers going out to the rest of the shows they're doing. Ahsoka, Boba Fett. Now we've got hints of them talking about doing a Skywalker show. And there's a lot of rumors going out about the Boba Fett show. And that I heard one person said this. Okay, one person. So I'm just a giant grain of salt. Like a huge one with this because I'm going to say no until I get more proof that Harrison Ford is in talks to revive Han Solo.
Can you give me a glass of water? Yeah, it's on the table.
Hello?
If that happens, we're probably going to get a deep fake Han Solo and maybe the Book of Boba Fett. I'm actually hoping for Rangers of the New Republic.
Do you think they're going to do what they did with Luke in The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I do. I think.
Wow.
Well, Gina Carano told Drunk 3PO that they're listening to us. And I've heard other people say that too.
Yeah, Doomcox also said that too.
Yeah.
On his videos.
So yeah, and Midnight's Edge has.
Yeah, and Tom so has Tom. So
yeah, and Andre and Tom are great. I love those two. They're Facebook friends of mine.
Yeah,
but I think they realize the mistake they're making. And here's my thing, Kennedy lied through her teeth, or she's too stupid to know. Take your pick on that one.
Can we say both?
When she said they didn't have any original source material. And if you look at my bookshelf and the piles of books on my side of the bed, all I have is EU, Star Wars. That I'm either rereading or just gotten, and that was bullshit. And I think what they're going to do, bringing in a Grand Admiral Thrawn, is they're going to meld a lot of what happened in the EU with newer stuff, and they're going to meld a little bit of the ST, because there are some interesting things in the sequel trilogy. Like, I think that the character Lor Santeca is one that I would not have killed. Okay, he's a character that would be an interesting ally and friend of Luke and Leia's. You know what I'm saying? He's an adventurer. He's this, he's that. And I think he'd be interesting, but I really think that they're going to meld a lot of the EU, and I think we're going to get a version of Heir to the Empire.
Do you think we're going to get Mara Jade?
Yeah, I think. In fact, I heard a rumor, and Cameron Pasha told me to calm down. That it was that just give him time to figure this out, because I was going nuts. Because they were threatening. Well, Ben Solo. It's like if I see that fucker, I'm sorry, I'm gonna
Go ahead.
scream.
It's okay.
I hate him. I mean, if you go on I went on a rant about Adam Driver yesterday. He's turned out to be quite the divo, a real dick on a dick on the set. Of course, he wasn't like that on TFA because Harrison Ford
Yeah.
would have basically run him off the set like he did Shia LaBeouf. But I heard that they're talking about Mara Jade and they're talking about bringing back the Solo kids.
Okay. Do you think? And this is a question because I love Hair Daddy Empire. That's my favorite. Do you think they're gonna get? Do you think they're gonna do how it was in the books, or they're going to switch it around, and then Luke and her are going to get together, and then they're going to, do the Jedi Academy?
I don't know. I'm hoping that they do some form of it. I'm not a fan of Luke having a romance just because he's that character that I don't think really needs him. I mean, he's kind of busy trying to rebuild the Jedi Order to have a wife and kids. But if they do that and they bring back the Solo kids and they fix Han and Leia, I don't care. But there are different ways you could bring back Mara Jade. Like she could be, the Emperor's hand. She could be a dark.
Well, yeah, she was the Emperor. Yeah, the Emperor's hand. Yeah,
she could be a dark Jedi. He kind of brings back the light, or like a foundling that they find and ends up being his like apprentice. But now he's got Grogu, which brings back to the other thing I wanted to talk about. There's so many things. In Disney crap canon.
Yeah.
The first apprentice that Luke has is Ben Solo.
Mm-hmm.
The movie or the show is 6 years before that. So Daddy Killer is only 4 years old. So Grogu actually is Luke's first apprentice. Okay. So there's that changed. Then, because people just let it go over their heads and crash and burn and rattle around in their heads and go to the other side, they're not watching the shows for context. At the end of Mandalorian season 2, people keep saying, well, Snoke. Yeah. But who found that laboratory with the experimental whatever they were in the tubes? Cara Dune. Cara Dune is part of the New Republic. So guess what? The New Republic now knows that lab existed. Now they have Moff Gideon. They have Dr. Pershing. They have all their testing. They have any samples they took. And Dr. Pershing will sing like a bird. So whatever. And you also have to remember, Moff Gideon knew who that was coming through the hall.
Yeah, there was no way he didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
He's super high up, so there was no bloody way he didn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think Cara Dune knew too, even though I think Gina said no. I think she said you would if Cara Dune was a shock trooper, and if they do it right, she might actually be somebody that Solo commanded. So she would probably know who Luke was.
Yeah, it would stand to reason that you would know who Luke is. Yeah, if she's a shock trooper, it means the most famous person in the galaxy, is he not at that stage?
Yeah. So when you're watching that and you're like, Gideon tries to kill himself, which was like a total like call. That was a tell that they're playing poker. I'd say show your hand.
The look on his face when Luke showed up is like, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah,
he knew. He's like, kill me now, please.
Yeah. And what's really interesting, excuse me, I have to do this, is what is the relationship between him and Thrawn? Is it good, or are they rivals? And maybe Grand Admiral Thrawn might not like the idea of what they're doing. Maybe, and of course, in Heir to the Empire, we did have clones. We had Jorah Sabal. So this stuff, and what Jon Favreau said 2 years ago could be way different now because
plans change.
They haven't come out.
Plans change all the time.
Yeah. No sequel trilogy characters coming out in the 50th Black Series editions, and I collect those.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you notice this for the 50th anniversary thing? They didn't have any of the Disney
No,
sequel
Dude,
characters.
the dark Ray that they just released is mostly reuse.
Yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
know that they're done with that character. They had a small portion of fans that were baying for that character to come out,
Yeah.
and they've reused their head. They didn't even give a new sculpt to the head. I mean,
Yeah.
that's as lazy as you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They even came out with my boy Jar Jar on a figure now, and I
I
was
got
just
Jar
like,
Jar.
"What,
Jar Jar is beloved.
dude?"
got-
I so wanted them to do that dark Jar Jar run.
Steph,
So
did you get Jar Jar? You got Jar
I
Jar?
got
Steph?
Jar Jar. I just got Jar Jar. I just pre-ordered Asajj Ventress, so
Oh,
she's
you
on.
did?
She'll be
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be way cool. I mean,
Did-
You know
Steph-
what's interesting is Ahmed Best has said that he likes the theory of Darth Jar Jar. And Ahmed Best has been involved with the shows recently too. I wouldn't be too surprised if you seen him
Yeah,
come back.
here's
Yeah.
the thing. I talked to him back in the day,
yeah,
Mhm.
and he even did his dark Jar Jar voice for me. Okay,
No way.
and
That's
other
cool.
stuff. Yeah, and I was like, I just fanboyed out, and then I've talked to him a lot on Twitter and a bunch of other times.
Yeah.
This is years ago,
yeah,
and I've seen this with my own eyes. He did
Yeah.
this on Twitter and a bunch of other stuff. He posted the second script.
yeah,
Okay. And he's even said what was small tidbits of what was in that script.
yeah, yeah.
We were not going to get Dooku at the end of the second movie. We were going to get Darth Jar Jar.
Oh, that was.
He was going to, Misa, and he goes into his Darth Jar Jar voice. You see the,
Yeah,
the lightsaber come up, and then
Yeah.
it would have been Yoda versus, oh my God, I wanted that so bad.
I gotta say that it's a pretty cool figure.
Yeah.
It's just Jar Jar. It is who he is.
Yeah.
It's great
And,
detail on him.
Yeah.
Did you see that
got
picture the guy the
Yeah.
guy made of
the dark,
dude,
yeah,
that
dark
was
Jar- yeah.
that was like perfect.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I really liked his Darth Talon one too.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
was
The
really
Talon one is
freaky.
awesome.
Yeah, that was But okay, what else is going on? So all right, the Mandalorian, the end of Mandalorian.
Yeah, the Mandalorian.
So Disney hired, or Lucasfilm quotation marks, hired from Netflix somebody to run basically manage all their production on streaming service, and not feature films. That's Michelle Rejwan. I think I have to go back and read the report on Deadline. They poached her from Netflix. So her name is Momita Sengupta, and her job is basically Kennedy's. That's exactly what her job is. And I know Doomcock is digging around trying to find out more about her. I can't find anything about her. And that's another thing. She is very hard
Private.
to find any information about. Now, I haven't gone on LinkedIn to look, but
Could it be a synonym name,
no, it's
A writer or a writer's name?
No, her name. That is her name. She was poached by Netflix from Viacom, and then Disney got her away from Netflix. Now, this is my theory. I have two. She's either there to help set up a staff for the new head of Lucasfilm, which could be Jon Favreau, or she's the new head of Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Wait until this summer when Kennedy's contract runs out to name her, or she's going to walk in at Star Wars Celebration. The thing that I find fascinating, though, she could be the head of Lucasfilm. I mean, we were talking about that on Echo Base Network the other day. She could be, but she's a name no one knows, which I think might help her. There's expectations will be people are mystified by that, and if her name was like Jon Favreau, or I had heard that when they were trying to replace Kennedy in 2018, they actually offered Chris Nolan the job, and he ran away screaming.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you don't, when it's a dumpster fire, you don't walk into it and say,
Yeah, he was like, nope, I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole.
When was this that Nolan said no?
2018, the summer.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, after Solo crashed and burned, And
Nolan said no. Then, well, I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, well, he saw how bad Solo was, and he's just like, nope.
Well, if Cameron Pasha is listening, if he was here, he'd tell you, it is an open secret in Hollywood that Kennedy screwed up bad, and no one wants to be blamed for that. Because if you were to walk in when all that happened, Tross would be your baby, and if that was and there's no way you could save it. I mean, you would have to. The Raylos would hate me. They would hate my guts.
Yeah.
You would have to literally flip. You'd have to literally subvert. I mean, everybody's expectations to fix the trilogy, and then it probably wouldn't make sense, you know. So I think there's definitely movement going on, and we were told that there were going to be big announcements going forward. And I mean, when you watched Kennedy announce all the new shows, she looked like she wanted to die.
Yeah, well,
isn't it interesting what we've just heard about the Kenobi show being pushed back as well? That's quite interesting in itself. And then the attention that Liam Neeson's starting to gather now about being in the show. Yeah. Have you anything on that in terms of any understanding? Because I mean, they've told us scripts were locked for so long, it was going to film, and now it's constantly kicked down the road. Is it to do with Kenobi being a straight white male? Is it is as simple as that?
That's what I thought, Ninja. Like, honestly,
the problem with it is it's probably cheaper actually to film right now in LA,
right?
And it depends on who actually is running it. I don't see Kennedy having anything to do with Kenobi.
Right.
And it, I'm going to say this straight out. I see George Lucas all over a lot of these. I really do. And he might be the shadow manager of all this.
Do you think they're going to bring George in for mostly everything if Kathleen goes?
He will be probably a consultant to the point where he's basically giving the last word on everything. Because I know, here's a story I was told. You guys are going to laugh. Kennedy calls Bob Chapek and says, I'd like to see the new scripts for Mando 3, blah, blah, blah. And he says, well, John and Dave are up in Marin County with George writing the scripts right now. And she had a cow.
Oh, yeah, I bet she did.
She had a cow and basically said, this nonsense must end, blah, 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 burned down the castle as she's walking out the door. And all the rest of that shit, making those stupid, threats that women like her make. And it's like, yeah, I think I see Kenobi being taken over by someone who's probably working with George, because that character is vital, and they have to treat him with respect.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like when they took that picture of George with Grogu, and George looked like he was holding his grandchild,
Yeah. Well, the name Grogu is
George.
Those letters are all from George Lucas.
Yeah.
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 Those. I mean, that's when you look at him, and I knew it the moment I saw his name. It's like that came from George Lucas. That's his name.
Yeah.
And it's just I really think that this High Republic thing crashing and burning is pushing a lot more movement, because
it's god awful. I was seeing some of the comics and stuff. I read the first one. It is terrible.
I'm waiting.
It disavows canon and everything. It's just
I'm waiting for someone.
You mean the
Stoned Republic?
Yeah.
The baked Republic. I mean, it's just. I mean, when I look at the character pictures when they were done, when it was all like it came out, and like Ram Jamaram, what the actual what?
Oh, you mean the gay hairdresser?
No, the fat one, and then there's the gay hairdresser. And
then the one that everybody thought was a chick, and it turned out to be a guy.
yeah, Ram Jamaram, and then Leox, Igashi, blah 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 is gay. That's what the name is.
Yeah. And it's an anagram, actually. If you go and
it is. And
it is.
I'm looking at it going, wow, you guys are really creative. I can't believe it. What in the hell were you doing when you were? Who in the right mind thought this was a great idea? And it's just a joke.
It is.
You can't. This is. It's just. It infuriates me, and I
It's literally what the New Warriors was. What happened in Marvel? It's a joke.
Yeah, and it's going to end up not going anywhere, and I think they know it. I mean, I don't know if Mike has seen this, but I know Tom at Midnight's Edge and Drunk 3PO and a bunch of other people have seen it. There's an uptick in trolling, bad trolling. I mean,
there is.
Yeah, and it's, and I'm not gonna. And people are, well, it's Disney. It's like, no, it's not. It's not.
No,
It's a different breed. Yeah.
This is the Pablo Hidalgo story groups, little flying monkeys flying around harassing people. Because I think in my heart of hearts, especially after this Momina Sengupta getting hired, that they know this shit's about to get real and the end is nigh.
Well, it's just happened at DC. There's been so many high-profile firings there, and also you've had basically a general manager has stood in and basically told certain individuals, "You're out, you're out, you're out." I mean, Kelly Sue DeConnick was booted from DC unceremoniously, and that was an individual that was absolutely full of herself. So, and I think Jim Lee is another individual that they said, "Look, you can walk out the door here, buddy, or else we're going to kick you." And it seems like Jim has gone as well, because a lot of this stuff has gone under his reign of this woke nonsense that's happened in DC. So you're starting to see companies taking action. I don't know if it's too late. Like, I was talking to the boys earlier in the stream, and I was talking about the Star Wars action figures, as you know, Steph, that we're going to get repaints for the next 2 years, it seems. We're going back to single jointed elbows, single jointed knees. It's something I talk about on my channel, and that to me is budget cuts. It's telling us that the property hasn't been financially successful enough to give us new articulation, new sculpts. I mean, look what Marvel Legends are doing, pinless technology. That's not in the Star Wars figures. We're getting a figure of Sasha Banks before Billboard's Mayfield. Like, are you joking me?
And did you see the 50th anniversary Lucasfilm? They're basically reprints of all the old stuff.
And even the sculpt that they did of Liam Neeson was still terrible on it, even though it was a new.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I've got a Qui-Gon, I've got Obi-Wan as an apprentice, and I've got an Obi-Wan that came out in 2005. I've got to get the recent one.
Yeah, I got all the original OG ones that when they first came out. I don't need to buy
amazing.
Yeah, I don't need to buy the reprints.
I actually put the money out for a Bandai Figure Arts Han Solo.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's a really good one. But I'm gonna tell you something. If I win the lottery, I bang every damn Hot Toys one they have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the one of Leia from Bespin, it's like, "Hi Carrie, how you doing?"
Yeah. It's phenomenal. I have a couple of them. I have Boba Fett. I have Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin from Episode 3, and then I have a couple of not the sequel trilogy. Sorry, I have some of the old trilogy figures then as well, too, like the Stormies and stuff like that, and a couple of the prequel trilogy, Darth Maul, Qui-Gon. I'm looking forward to Apprentice Obi-Wan. But yeah, they're stunning. They're stunning.
Yeah, I mean, they're just it's like it basically wows me. I mean, I'd have a place like, I mean, we're trying to eventually get the basement done up in a media room. I've got a Empire Strikes Back photograph of Han, Leia, Luke, and Chewie, with all their autographs.
Nice.
Wow.
And I don't know how much. It was a blind auction. It was a blind auction. My husband got it.
Oh my!
I don't know how much he spent, but I guarantee it was thousands. I guarantee it. That one, I've got a really great print of Anakin that is, I just ordered one of Han Solo because those are my two favorite guy characters, and they're going to be up there. But I want to display stuff down there with my movie posters. Yes, I have a Gone with the Wind movie poster. I don't care. I've got a lot of.
Gone with the Wind. I got took into that like so many times when I was younger.
Yeah, I got,
I have one of the original, it's a reprint back from in the 80s of that and it's framed and everything. I still love that poster.
Yeah, I just got one. Like, we had talked to a guy. He came in, looked at the basement, said what he could do, was going to send us sketches, and then never responded to queries. And I put two and two together. It's like he saw our gun safe and said no.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, dude, my husband collects World War II vintage firearms. You can shoot them. They are shootable. We've got, that's what we do. We collect these things. And, some people are just freaking bizarre. I'm telling you right now. It's like, look, dude, it's not going to jump out of the safe and hurt you. Okay.
Yeah. People are weird like that. They see it and it's all locked up and they're like, oh, it's going to hurt me. No, dude, it's between like
Scary,
6 inches of steel. Okay.
Scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
The M1 Garand is going to open up the safe, load itself with a clip, and shoot you. I mean, it's like, what the hell? So, yeah, but we got, I'm waiting for our old real estate agent, the one who sold us this house, to come back with another name. But I want to do I don't want just the TV set. I want a big one. I'm a big one. I want to be able to go on there gaming. I want to, be able, I've got so many DVDs and Blu-rays that need to be out, displayed, put up in a case so people can see them and stuff like that. But that's where I'm going to probably do all my videos then, is in that room. And there's going to be a bar in the back of it because we need that. The alcohol, the wine bar has to be there. But yeah, so, back to Star Wars, there are things going on, and a lot of people don't want to believe it, and I understand that, but when I'm watching all these movements, this hire was very low key, very flew under the radar. No one's talking about it. Nobody. I think I'm the only person outside of Echo Base that even mentioned it. And I maybe the guys on Midnight's Edge will mention it tomorrow, but I think they're also trying to get their contacts.
Oh, I do know this, Steph. I know Tom and Andre are trying to get a little bit more information.
Because it's very intriguing to me. It just seems like there's something. It just says more about what's happening. It's not. A friend immediately said, "Well, she's a Kennedy hire." It's like, no, she's not. Just because she's a woman and a minority, don't. Kennedy would have hired someone with a chip on her shoulder the size of the Empire State Building. Mm-hmm. Everyone would have known it. This person doesn't have a Twitter account. She doesn't have any social media at all.
Wow.
She's not. She's a Disney hire. Iger and Chapek hired her. That's what I'm sticking to, unless they,
it's Steph. Somebody in chat said they found her IMDb page.
Yeah, and it's sparse. Yeah, I found it too.
Okay.
It's sparse.
Sengupta?
Yeah, Sengupta. Momita Sengupta. And it's sparse, but that doesn't mean to me anything if he's going into management and production management, because it says nothing about creative. So who's going to be in charge of creative? No, it could be Favreau. All right, which I think he'd be great, because obviously he loves the IP enough to actually make stuff that people enjoy. My favorite moment in all of this was when Luke returned to Sarah's a YouTube husband and wife team. I'm not going to say who they are. You guys will probably know.
Oh, yeah.
They were so pissed when he showed up. She was spitting nails.
Actually, I saw the video and I was laughing.
I know. I'm like going, are you
They were so furious. I was laughing.
Showed up. Are you sad? Boo hoo. I was like, because when I had a Twitter account, I would get into major league fights with her. Girls like that really don't understand that they're not attractive to guys that are like alpha males, because they're too aggressive, too bossy, they make themselves look ugly by the things they say, you know,
Mhm.
and their misandry just bleeds out of every pore. She's married to a guy that my dog is more manly. You know, that guy showed up in a costume. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm married to a Marine. All right, I don't understand guys like that. I mean, my husband walked in and saw that picture, he'd vomit. I mean,
Oh, I couldn't do that myself. That would drive me up the wall, and I'm like,
What costume?
nope.
What costume?
it was a slave Leia costume. Oh,
A
I'm sorry. Hut Slayer, according to Claudia Gray.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and Molly's standing over him like she's some sort of. Oh shit! I said her name.
That's all right.
She's standing over him like she's some sort of mistress of all coolness, and it's like, that's just gross.
At Dragon Con one year, I'm getting in an elevator, and some dude in a slave Leia outfit with a beard and everything gets into the elevator. I look at him like, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I've seen that a lot at the conventions, though.
Time to poke my mind's eye out.
I don't know why.
I want off of this elevator now.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, then there's the other ones that are dressed like Wonder Woman. That one's a joke. Everybody knows that one's a joke.
To be fair,
Okay.
I'm screwing around, but I'm still like, dude, come on.
When
Yeah.
we're out of this, I'm gonna send Mike a picture of a woman dressed as Ben Solo without his shirt on.
Oh,
Oh.
And it's literally the most horrible thing I've ever seen. And I sent
Not
it to
creepy
Jesse
much, huh?
Milestone.
what is it even more horrible than Wonder Woman 84?
Yes. Yes. I sent it to Jesse Milestone, and she's like, I'm never talking to you again. It's just, you know, it's like, I can't, that character sucked already so bad. And then to see people actually venerate him, it's like,
Yeah.
what? There's, and then get pissed off, and you're like, he couldn't carry Anakin's lightsaber. You know, he couldn't, you know, he couldn't, I mean, he's just I mean, you know, so yeah, I mean, it's just like, but about what's going on at Lucasfilm, yeah, I think there's major league changes coming, and I think,
Well, that's the thing. Doomcock keeps talking about it, and now I've heard the same thing from you. And I'm like, I'm really hoping that something does change, but I'll believe it when I see it, because after the last 5-6 years, ever since Disney took over, we're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, you know?
I don't blame you on that. I mean, when we thought Kennedy was gone, and then quietly under the rug, you know, signed her to 3 more years, and I'm like, 3 more years. I'm like, why would you do that? See, I'm sorry.
Because nobody wanted to take the job. That's the reason why they signed her. Nobody wanted a job.
But at the time, no one realized that. You know, and I was a staffer in the House Majority's Leader's office. You know, I'm political side. And, you know, if someone is that incompetent, they'd be gone. I mean, the only place I've ever seen it harder to fire someone than in Hollywood is if you work for the government.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too out here.
On the executive side, because there was a girl that worked, a civilian worker that worked for my husband, and he was the commander of headquarters battalion. That was his colonel's command. Now it says battalion, but it was a regimental sized. He had, like, you know, I don't know, 2,000, maybe 5,000 men under him. He had the cog, the band, he had all these guys. And a lot of those guys would get augmented to Afghanistan. But this girl was supposed to be the family, she was like the liaison between the battalion, between command and the wives. And she was she was a major screw up. She was just, oh God. I couldn't stand talking to her. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm talking to Carrie Bradshaw. Shut up, you know? And it took him weeks to fire her. It took him weeks because he had to go through all of this red tape. to do it.
Yeah.
And when she's finally
It's
done,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, they got to do that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
when you have wives walking in to the sergeant major's office screaming about her, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I do agree that there needs to be balances and checks in place so
Yeah.
people don't abuse it. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, when they put all that stuff in there, it makes it harder when you need to get the people out that you really need to get out, you know?
Government was never supposed to be a career.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It's just
Right.
It's hard, and but it was just watching that was just like, but that was just as bad as trying to get rid of Kennedy. I'm
Yeah.
not moving till I'm ready. It's like, if I ran Disney, I'd be like, George, can you come back till we can find somebody? She's gone.
Oh God, yes. I'd be on the phone immediately. George, we need you,
I'd be
please.
sending him fruit baskets. I'd be sending him puppies. I'd be like, please come back. I mean, you can't, but I mean, I remember just being enraged about that because it didn't make any sense to me as someone who actually worked in the real world, and DC and on the congressional side is the real world. It doesn't seem like that. It's really stressful. It's really I don't. Somebody doesn't want to get into politics. It's like, take your Maalox and watch your officers.
And if you look at the past presidents, once they're in there for 4 years, they age like hugely.
Yeah, except for well, if you look at pictures of Trump, he hasn't. So
He looks great.
I think he's a time traveler. I do. I mean,
that's because he's like, yeah, I got this, boys. What up?
Yeah, he doesn't. He just listens to him. He doesn't let.
Yeah, and he's also had to deal with that all his life, so he's kind of used to it too.
Yeah,
yeah,
and he doesn't, But I just, I'm when I think about that, I just get enraged. And the thing that bothered me is that there were people knocking those of us who thought she was gone.
Yeah,
and that was like, look, guys, all right, look, and that was before we realized that all these people have been offered the job that said no fucking way.
Yeah, I don't know how many people I heard from the grapevine that they offered this person a job. Oh, he'd be great. They offered her the job. She'd be great. Nobody wanted it because it was so tainted.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't want to walk in
at
the tail end of that trilogy and it's a dumpster fire and everybody knew she's out. I mean, I had a Twitter account, and I basically sent to Frank Marshall, how does it feel to have how does it feel when your wife betrayed your best friend? Because him and Lucas are best friends. He blocked me. And I don't hate him. I don't understand how he stands her though.
Yeah, I've never understood that either. She makes a great cup of coffee, but that's about it. Like seriously.
She's making more than coffee, I'd say.
Ninja, I know.
The secret compartment in the desk. The secret compartment in the desk with the pictures.
Yeah. We've heard that Spielberg has dumped her. He won't. I mean, that's why he left Indy 5. That Ford, it gets last say on the script, which is great. And I had a friend tell me that the rumor is that she got Indy 5 taken away from her. No, I don't think that's true. And if it did, they've got it. Can't do anything to it. I am kind of like, you can just see that it's over. I mean, it just, for her, it's but there.
Oh wait, the blood is in the water. You can see it coming, but it's gonna be a slow progression.
Yeah, they're gonna give her gold watch. Send her out on a float. She'll get her. Probably somebody will buy a star for her on the Walk of Fame. So.
Yeah. Everybody on the news channels. Oh, Kathleen Kennedy, the best. Oh, yeah. No, just piss off and go, please. Just go.
The first female studio head. It's like Sherry Lansing and Dawn Steele are going. No,
Yeah. There's other people that've been first, and it wasn't her.
Yeah. And she just but as far as anything else goes, I see something going on that I think is positive. I really think that I think they're Cameron said that the SJW thing is fading in Hollywood. That the studio executives are like, we gotta step away from it. And watching, but I gotta tell you, man, watching High Republic crash.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: the studio executives had so much power before the pandemic that they could literally put out anything and think they were safe. Now that it's been like a year to a year and a half where all this crap's been going on, they're not safe anymore. They're not invincible no more. So they're going to have to go back to how it was before they started all this nonsense and actually make money, because nobody wants to deal with any of their crap. Basically, they need to, and I'm not saying this, just taking this, not be re-educated, but they need to relearn in a better way of what made them find that passion to do it in the first place, because they all became corrupted to like an extreme extent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or there's people that actually just did stuff and they're like, you know what? I love Hollywood, but I can't no more, because they became so just one side signal virtue, like, oh no, you can't. I know people that actually left, but I know a few, like Cameron, he's staying, because he loves Hollywood, but on the other hand, like you said, it's hurting him inside,
Well,
So,
I've got a friend named Lee Scott, and I think Mike knows Lee, right?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, Lee left Hollywood a year or so ago, and he has his own movie studio and Empire he's building down in Lafayette, Louisiana. And he is going to be really successful. Really successful. In fact,
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, he's already got a streaming service. I'll send the link to Mike. It's $1 a month.
That's awesome.
And you can just, you get it, and you get to watch anything that he's made. If you remember that the HBO the 3 penny, was it the 3 penny? I can't remember it. God, but he made a couple of HBO things. He's worked with I think Mel Gibson. His stories about Mel Gibson are hilarious, by the way. There's one where he was drinking in his basement, and he's like, Mel is crazy. It's like, yeah, well, we know that.
We already all knew that, kind of.
but that's a mad genius,
Yeah.
And it's really, that's the way I think it's going to end up going. I think Disney's going to have competition on their streaming.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, like you said, they're good. There are gonna be people that are gonna rise up from this that are gonna be better than the bigger companies, and then the bigger companies are gonna go, oh crap, we should have been doing this all along, like people have been telling us. I really do think, and if you look back in times of pandemics and everything else, and bad periods of history, what happens after all these bad periods? There's a golden age of stories and everything else that come out of things.
Yeah, and I think that's going to happen. Like I said, watching High Republic be the dog shit that we all thought it was going to be was great, because it's teaching the money guys at Disney that you can't finance this shit anymore. People don't want it. Now, will it teach the people who made it anything? No. They're going to say, if you didn't like it, you're racist, sexist, homophobic, bigot, which is their default mechanism. It's like they can't get past themselves.
No, they can't.
And
it's sad to see that,
Yeah.
It's
I'll let you go after I say this. I'd feel sorry for Pablo Hidalgo. I really would. But I've been at the brunt of his bullshit and his wife's. I feel sorry
Yeah.
for Claudia Gray, but I don't like women who talk about men like that. I feel sorry for Justine Ireland, but if you gave her white skin and blonde hair, and you put her in a German uniform, there you go. You know, you know, um, but it's okay for her to be a racist, right? It's
Yeah,
okay for her to put
that's
people
just,
that live in Montana down,
yeah.
because she's black. It's like, no, I mean, I've got one of my best friends is in a mixed marriage, right? They have 9 kids. She's
Mhm.
very devout Catholic. She was my confirmation sponsor, and she watches the videos and she'll send me private messages, and she's like, I would kill them both. And it's like, why? Because they're embarrassing themselves and they're turning the struggles that we've had into something that they're not. And they're forgetting how far we've gotten. No one talked about race until this crap started. And it's
here's the thing. Like, okay, and I'm gonna put Red Dwarf as an example of this. We've had 2 main characters that have been on Red Dwarf that were African American for how many, for 2 decades or something, and we love that show. Like that Red Dwarf is seriously loved. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the color of their skin. I loved them because they were great characters in the show. You know?
Yeah. I mean, my thing is they talk about racism and everything, and then what they did to Finn, what they did to John Boyega, because China, and I gotta tell you this before I leave, if you want to ever see anything racist, look up that washing machine ad from China.
I've seen it, and it's god awful. They raced him right out of that commercial.
Well, no, the washing machine ad. She literally.
I saw. Did you see the? What was it? The
trailer for.
Yeah, I saw the one where he was in it, and then they showed. I think it was I was on Tom's or something one day, and they showed the ad after they did it, and it totally erased everything that he wanted in his commercial.
Because Asian. I'm gonna say this: China is a very racist country.
Oh yeah, they always have that. But here's the thing: I don't think all people are like that, but I think a good majority of people over there are.
Well,
but
look up the Chinese washing machine ad. Yeah. It's like watching. I mean, there's Hitler in hell is cheering them right now. Every time. I mean, it's like, I can't believe into 2020 that's a thing. I can't believe it. And in America,
you look at China, for example, and the way the ladies walk around with umbrellas to keep their skin white. It's a thing over there. But see, for Chinese people, what it is, it's a cultural thing insofar as they view that if you were rich enough to stay indoors and to be carried around, essentially, you would have whiter, paler skin, which is the reason why they do look down on even within their own country, on their own people. They look down on people with a tan. Because they're like, well, you must be working out in the rice fields. You're a nothing. You're a nobody. Whereas then when they see then, of course, then people that have the natural pigmentation of being black, that same logic applies to them again. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying the large majority, when you talk to them, that's the way you think of things.
Ninja just said exactly what I just said, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, and so what they did to John Boyega because of it, it's like, but guess what? Because we don't like the High Republic, because we didn't like the sequel trilogy, and we thought Solo sucked, we're racist, sexist, homophobic bigots. Okay, because we didn't like the story, we didn't like the casting, we didn't, we thought John Boyega deserved better. Kelly Marie Tran deserved better. And it's there's a dog. It's one of those things. But look up. It's not a John Boyega ad. Look up the Chinese washing machine ad if you can find it.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. Yeah, that's a bad one. But also with the John Boyega thing, China is so big, and the way they do things. When he made the statement about it, they were like, who cares? You know what I mean? And that's just
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that's going to be done, and there's no repercussions, or there's no
Yeah.
like big outcry about it. And I mean, like, as far as you're talking about the poster situation happened, and it's happened again within the Marvel movies. And I've said earlier on here on the stream, like,
Yeah.
they've shrunken down a certain individual that's in Black Widow, who I believe is going to be behind the mask there. And I believe then that's why they're talking to Chris Evans about coming back as Cap, because how are you going to promote Anthony Mackie as Cap in China?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's the logic.
You know, my logic is, you know, it's Quentin Tarantino. He was told to change Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he said, for China, and he said, no.
Yeah.
No, well, then we're not going to show it in Hollywood or in China. Yeah. And he was right. If you don't like it, fine. You know, I mean, this is a country that doesn't pay a lick for climate change. They are polluters. They're human rights abusers. What they're doing to the Uyghurs is, I can't. You can't wrap your mind around it. What they're doing to the people in Hong Kong, you can't. You know, and they get away with it. Why? Because certain people up in the high ranks of our governments, in business, want to do business with them, and it's like you guys got to stop. You guys got to stop, because ultimately that's going to come and bite us in the ass. You know. Anyway, but I think as far as Star Wars goes, keep your ears to the ground, because I think shit is hitting the fan. And watch the trolling. Watch and see what they're saying. And you know, and whatever happens. I mean, I'm, you know, that rumor about Harrison Ford, I fully expect, if they're doing Heir to the Empire, and they use the aspect from the aftermath that Disney kind of created, where there was a story about the Imperials kidnapping high-ranking officials' kids, that Boba Fett will come in to play there. And because you got to remember, in the EU, Jaina trained with him. Yeah. You know? And I fully expect to see Solo and Leia. Chewie, fine. But they got to fix them. And you know, I mean, Doomcock said they were. So, because, like I said the other day, I felt violated walking out of TFA. I was like, what in the hell? And it took me a year to admit it was a shitty movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were feeling that way. I mean, I've even seen Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers, and he felt the same. He was like, I convinced myself it was a good movie. For me, I suppose for me, I seen the signs when the whole Rey being able to beat Kylo Ren. I was like, okay, right, that's it, it's done. And then when Last Jedi came out, I was like, I was physically enraged by the end of that movie. Like, I was very angry, and I have not been like that about any other movie, I don't think, ever. And I was really angry. So
when you walk out of a Star Wars movie and people have this look on their faces like they've just been kicked in the gut, that's bad. That's bad reaction.
I feel that same exact way, Ninja. When I came out of The Last Jedi, I was furious. I was like, what the hell? And that was my dog, by the way. Sorry, everybody.
That's all right. That's all right. I was, you know, when Rian Johnson said he wanted to subvert expectations, I was like, you know, just fix what JJ broke. Oh, no. Whatever JJ was trying to say, Johnson completely ignores it, makes it worse. There's no kind remembrance of Han, none of that stuff. But damn it, we got Admiral Hollow, and I gotta say that I was not feeling that at all.
Oh no, I wasn't either.
I mean,
and she was basically, it was basically a joke.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
it was basically the people over at Lucasfilm is basically Kathleen Kennedy saying, "You're not good enough. We don't know you. Don't know what's going on." That's basically the whole was, you know.
Yeah, and
we know better. We know what you want.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you thinking? I mean, it's like, and then you know, Itchy sent me the link for the bootleg of Tross, right? So I watched it, and I'm like, I scrolled through it, and I'm like, oh God Almighty,
Yeah, that's the first time I did not go to the second time I did not go to a theater to see it, ostensibly what it was supposed to be called, a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Solo was the first time I didn't go. Watched the download, and then I did the same thing with Tross, which is a piece of Tross.
I didn't even go to the movie for the third one. I gave up after Last Jedi.
Oh,
I was like, I tapped out.
I didn't either, but I wanted to see at least an aspect of it so I could at least talk about it.
Same here.
That's I do that same exact thing, and God forbid me that I got to review the Superman show. And oh my God forbid me on this one. They turned season 7 of The Flash into the Iris West Allen show.
Dude, I tuned out of that in season 3 when the whole Savitar thing happened and they didn't kill her. I was like, I'm done.
Oh my God,
lads.
dude! Season 7 of The Flash is just god awful, and I'm like, I gotta review Superman and now Flash, and I'm like, ugh.
I stopped watching the CW Drek After Crisis.
Yeah,
they did it so stupid. They did it so stupidly. I just couldn't.
It's gotten worse, dude. And I just saw it recently, and I'm not happy about how they're doing Superman in the show now.
I don't know.
You should see the look on my face when the Super Bowl Sunday they have the Solo.
Oh wait! Did you hear about the Equalizer where the Queen is going to become this kick-ass person in their 60s?
Okay.
Wait, what were you saying about
Queen Latifah?
Oh God. Anyway, Super Bowl Sunday when they had the Solo trailer come out.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God, I rolled my eyes the minute I saw that.
I mean, I'm looking at it going, "You got to be kidding me!" And Iger's like, "Well, that was my fault. Timing. It's like it didn't have any timing, sure, but you could have had that movie come out 10 years after TLJ." And still nobody would have gone to see it. Because let me tell you, people have a definite idea on what Han Solo was like. Reich was so miscast. There could be novels, biblical-sized books written about how bad that idea was.
Terrible.
I mean, and then it goes on and on and on and on. I mean, I was sitting there, I was half in the bag anyway because we were drinking wine and eating appetizers, and I was just laughing my ass off. I can't. Why? I mean, and it was just. But anyway, I gotta go. My voice is going. So, thanks for having me on, Mike.
Steph, always a pleasure. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye, Steph.
Nice to meet you.
Steph.
See you guys later. Talk to
We
you
appreciate you. Thank you. Kickley, my good old friend Kickley's just popped in. What's up, buddy? Great to see you, my friend.
If somebody can put Steph's channel in the chat for us, please.
It's in the.
Okay.
Her channel is definitely in the link in my description.
You got to show me how to do that because I don't know how to do that yet.
What? How to do what?
Put all the channel. All that.
When
stuff
you're programming the show.
Okay.
It'll let you put it in the description, man. But I'll help you with that.
Yeah, you got to show me how to do that.
Wait a minute. You don't know how to do that?
No.
Fucking Jed is fired, goddammit. That's it. You are fired.
I just have people put the links in the chat because
where's the hook?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Where's the hook?
God damn it. I like saying God damn it a lot. Sorry.
Damn it, Jim.
I'm a doctor, not a producer.
Exactly.
I know, right?
What the hell's wrong with you? Oh my goodness. Well, we got some Star Wars out there. We talked a little WandaVision.
I have a thing. I want to hear what Ninja and what Raymond think of the new Heroes Reborn.
Let's see. Do we care what Jed wants? Everyone? No, just kidding. See, Jed didn't see the memo today. It's be mean to Jed Day.
Yeah, he was doing that to me earlier too. He's like, "What show? I don't know what show."
Heroes Deformed. I suppose I don't know if we talked about this at all. Ninja,
yeah, we did. We did on my show and your show too.
I think Ninja and I may have touched on it, but my big question about that is why dredge up that fucking title, even though it's nothing to do with it.
Are we talking about the when they all disappeared after Onslaught?
No,
it's
they're reusing that title for something completely different that's about to come out from Marvel.
yeah.
Stomach, stop queasing.
And then guess who's the only person that remembers the alternate reality? Blade. Yeah. Yeah. Blade's the only person that remembers everything.
Blade.
Out of everybody in the Marvel universe, they pick Blade. And I love Blade, but why would you pick Blade?
He's a D-list. He's a D-list character.
In the comics.
Well, the plan is obviously to give him a bit of push there before the movie comes out. But I've seen the Heroes Reborn with like a combination between Doctor Doom, Juggernaut, and Iron Man and Colossus. Is it? Look, the design looks ridiculous.
It's
And they got
Juggernaut and Doctor Doom.
Basically, they're dredging up the Squadron Supreme.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I know. It looks god awful.
Well, have you seen the art from it? Here's the thing about that.
Yeah.
Because look, you got to call balls and strikes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying I'm interested in this thing at all because I'm not.
Yeah.
But here's what's curious about it to me, Ninja and Raymond. Because I don't buy modern Marvel. I think my buddy Lord Thoth and I were talking about that. He does still buy a lot of stuff, but we're talking about this. They've got Ed McGuinness and Carlos Pacheco. If you look, they don't draw skinny little wafy little 2021 type superheroes that you see in comics for 15 pages talking about their feelings that your boy Zach and Yellow Flash always review. They do. I'm not they're not my favorite artists personally, but their characters look like big muscle bound proper superheroes. I'm going to give them that, which is the curiosity for this being a modern Marvel event miniseries. But it's of course the writing doesn't ruin it because it's by that was it Jason Aaron's, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, it was Jason Aaron's, McGuinness, and somebody else that's doing the new Heroes Report.
They had the look to it. Again, not my favorite kind of art or anything, but those guys are old school fairly. They've been around a while. And so they don't look like this. You know how the women now in Marvel and DC don't even really look all that like the classic superhero
like women. Like
women, and the men are always they've been kind of skinnier now, and they all look.
And the guys look like chicks, kind of.
Well, this art doesn't look like that. It's not my bag, but it's they look like proper superheroes. So I'm curious by it. I'm like, did you guys think you at least on the surface needed to make something that looked like standard, basic superhero comic books because no one wants to buy your shit?
Yeah,
is it some kind of marketing thing? Because again, Ed McGuinness has been around since the '90s, and so has Pacheco. So I'm wondering why the art, which again is not, and then again, they're okay, just not my favorites, but they're all right. And they did, what's Pacheco did Avengers Forever or something, which was a pretty good series. Yeah. So they does look like, even though these are like some amalgam mixed ups of superheroes, it looks kind of like the amalgam stuff similar, but they don't look bad in terms of they don't really look like these wimpy little milquetoast superheroes that you see running around now. The story will probably be soyish though.
No, it's going to be
Aaron's.
I was at a comic book store over the weekend, and I happened to look at a Vampirella, and I almost went. Yeah.
Wow.
It went well. I didn't open it up. I just looked at the cover and said, "Oh, I am not getting that." Even if you bought it for me, because it went woke. It's not the. Let me just say, this channel, because this is YouTube. Let me just say, it's not the same Vampirella.
Oh boy, I didn't know about that. That's depressing.
I think I know what you're talking. I think I've seen some of the modern examples of how really bad she looks now. So she doesn't.
Well, Vampirella that's a Dynamite property, isn't it? And they bent the knee when it came to what happened with Cecil.
Hardcore. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, if you see here, this is again not my cup of tea necessarily, but if you look at it, they look like relatively normal older Marvel comics.
Hey, look, there's a big titty Cap right there.
Dr. Doom's crossed with Juggernaut for some reason.
Now, and they crossed the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver into one person too.
Right, it's pretty stupid. But here's my thing about all this. Why are you calling it Heroes Reborn? When you say that, you think of trash like this.
Yeah.
Remember this?
And it's the world without the Avengers too. There's no Avengers.
Remember this horrible garbage?
Yeah, that's what I was talking. It's
Yeah.
big titty Cap right there.
Yeah. Beverly Field Cap. This was pretty bad. So what? I mean,
Sue Storm with the belly ring.
it was so friggin' horrible. It was so bad. You know, it's a funny thing, Ninja and Raymond and Jed. Back then, fans hated this shit so much they listened and stopped it quick.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
imagine
like,
that. Imagine that listening to fans, and even if Marvel sucks and all that stuff. But I mean, imagine going, guys, we won't be able to sell this comic. So
there's a picture right there where it says Weird Science. There's a picture of all of them right there.
Now this is weird. This is supposed to be Alpha Flight, I guess.
I mean, come on, Ben Grimm coming out of the bathtub. That's
Oh,
I love Ben, but
actually, Thanos looks good, but they combined the Mandarin and Thanos together for some reason.
This is supposed to be Alpha Flight. See, this kind of stuff like this doesn't look too bad. Looks like an old comic book.
Yeah,
but that's Carlos Pacheco.
Yeah, the comic, the artwork doesn't look bad. It's not bad at all.
That looks good. This is kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
I'm not a big guy. I'm not big on Pacheco or McGinnis. I just think they're okay, and they look like, again, this looks like some fairly, good looking, decent look to a comic. Now, again, Jason Aaron, so read at your own peril.
Canadian Spider-Man, brother. What's up?
Hey, Canadian.
Yeah, that's whatever, a Canadian Spider came. But see, there's the thing I was asking, kind of, Ninja, is that do you think this means that there's somebody at Marvel said, we'll hire a couple of old school artists so at least we can attract, at least maybe attract a little business instead of just pissing everybody off? I mean, what do you think?
They have to be seeing what's going on with CG, and I think they have to understand that they have massive IPs with massive characters, and they've just seen Cyberfrog cross 1 million. They're saying other IPs that have been just created by the people in CG. I had an interview with Eddie Winkler. He was doing Sovereign Wolf Clan Destiny, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. And it's a phenomenal idea. And I think he's hit $20,000 now on that. And I mean, this is this guy's 4th comic. So, that's an incredible feat for a person that is just debuting. I mean, look at the stuff. Look at the price that Cecil's art goes for. I mean, when I'm talking about art, I mean, there's see some better art from kids or something.
Cecil is he goes either way, man.
I
love Cecil.
Has gotten people to purchase into the material because he's a likable individual. And I mean, this is what I think companies have fell back and they haven't understood that people that they have, especially because they have public profiles and Twitters, is that they're representing the company, they're promoting the company when you're in these type of fields. And I think that's what they've misunderstood. So I do agree with you there, Clobberin Times. I think this might be an attempt to get the old school fan back, because there's something that we have been critical over the last couple of years is the art. I mean, the art hasn't been good, the stories haven't been good, and this might be just an attempt maybe to get people back. But I mean, I go into comic book shops here regularly in Ireland, and there's 2 types of employee that works in a comic shop. A person that's in denial and thinks that everything is fine and nothing needs to change. And then there's the other person that's the realist that's like, we should probably start stocking CG books here, because this other shit here, this new Warriors, that's not going to sell, and it doesn't sell. And he's like, I have good friends that work in comic book shops, and they'll tell you, you get the odd blue-haired weirdo that'll come in and buy 1 copy of these. They're not buying the variants. They're not buying the other covers. They're just buying the 1 copy maybe, and it's once every couple of weeks. They're not a constant customer. And then they're not buying any merchandise along with that. No T-shirts, no Funkos, no action figures, no statues, no nothing. It's a person that's coming in and spending €5 here. I suppose it'd probably be about $6 over where you are. And that's, every couple of weeks. Whereas individuals like me, I'm dropping cash out, and I'm
I know.
Give me stuff that I want.
They're like, oh my God, you have the latest issue of Captain Marvel. I love her. She's so wonderful.
Yeah, I'm not saying Marvel Comics has healed itself in any way, shape, manner, or form. I'm simply puzzled by the use of artists from the old school like that.
Yeah, I said that too.
Again, I'm like, because again, this is not something I'm going to pick up. I don't know about you, but I'm not really interested in, especially with the writer. I'm just saying, usually the way their horrible comics have looked of recently, this looks like a little bit of a throwback, and there has to be something behind it. So,
well, I mean, it's like Godzilla versus Kong. You have to fight monster with monster in certain aspects. And I mean, if the CG stuff is selling with what Ethan Van Sciver, John Mayle, and Shane Davis are doing, well, then you're going to have to employ people of a similar ilk and talent to be doing your comments to stand any sort of chance against these guys. And I mean, my attitude is, if you like what you see in CG, purchase it. The guys that are there, they're really good guys. They're interested. They listen to fans. They'll get back to you. They like what you're saying. They will, take stuff on board, and they'll move forward. You won't be having the likes of Tess Fowler or Visaggio or any of these type of clowns that are coming out to abuse you, like Dan Slott as well, telling people that they don't understand Spider-Man. And I mean, it's just it boggles my mind.
The guys will actually listen to you if you give them feedback on their comics, and literally.
That's their actual characters. It's not even like an IP from the company. It's their characters. Whereas you've got Dan Slott that gets all butthurt when you say to him, listen, dude, you don't understand Spider-Man. When he tells you that Spider-Man shouldn't be fat shaming Dr. Octavius, get out of town.
I know. I was just like, come on, dude.
Oh, shit. Exactly. By the way,
he blocked me over that.
Good. Screw him. What a... in case you need to see that nightmare that they're taking the title. I don't understand. Look, it's probably going to be shit anyway.
It probably is.
Why would you use this name? This is a horrible name in comics. I
do have the first run of the 12 issues.
It's reviled trash.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to a lot of modern Marvel shit, maybe not, but still, look at this. How bad this was, man.
It was god awful, man.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing: the Avengers aren't around in this version either. So Tony never became Iron Man.
No, they're right. But still, they're using that name though. So what is wrong with it?
I don't That's like, hey, let's reuse a new 52.
Trash. And again, I cite the historical example of fans saying this fucking sucks. Fix it, and they did with Heroes Return. If you'll remember, very not long. It didn't take long either.
Cap with his ample bosom right there.
Look at this garbage, man. And it wasn't long before they fixed this crap.
It went like 12 issues for each of them. It was 12, 13 issues.
Man.
And then they tried to reset it. They had to reset it back to original. Back when they did the Onslaught, and then
Did you remember any of this crap, did you? Or were you buying at the time?
No, not buying at the time. No, at that time I wasn't purchasing comics. And again, like you said, for me, I'm a big fan of the art. And if the art on the cover is not looking good, I'm not going to pick her up.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say, I'm not doing with this.
Yeah. If the art and the story ain't in the comic, I'm not going to pick it up.
Look, I've been guilty of buying comics just for the art. Sometimes if it was an artist I really love, but rarely the other way around. I mean, if it had a I don't know. There were times I've had crappy art, but a good story. I go, yeah, this is a good story, kind of hampered by bad art. But then there's really, when it's this bad, hell no.
Yeah.
It could be a substandard, but if it's this bad, dude.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think that's what a lot of people in CG are even saying themselves, like that they have great ideas. I mean, like I have an idea for a comic myself personally, but like I'm like I don't have the artistic skills to do it, but I want to get it. If I was going to do it, I want to get it right. I wouldn't want it to be coming out and look shit. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes it gets overlooked with this, and even that Disney documentary on basically it was a hit piece on Dan Slott, showed what goes on behind the scenes. It's some crazy stuff that happens there, and this is at a major company.
I have and I'll say this, I have tons of ideas for comics, but I cannot draw. I would the ideas that I have for the comics. I would love to do comics, but I agree.
I agree with you. I don't draw, but I have ideas.
I have tons of ideas. I would love to do a comic with my ideas, but I can't draw, and it hurts me so much.
I just wonder how long it will be before it's at least something that looks like an old comic like this to this.
Have you seen that tweet that came out recently, and it was just like, here is inclusion and diversity, and it's just like 10 women with their shaved side of their head, and they're all
they showed that on Friday Night Tights.
It's like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
You should check it out. It's very funny. It was, and like Jed said there, it was on FNT, so check it out.
Yeah.
It's on there.
And Tom had it on Midnight's Edge too.
Did Tom have it on there? Yeah.
Yeah, he had, because I'm always on his in his streams now.
Phil Colton.
Yeah,
What the hell?
I'm there every like Tom's like, oh hey Jay, what's up, man?
Oh, really? Really?
And then I talk to him on Messenger and stuff too. So
Yeah, this is what Marvel Comics mostly is right now.
Yikes.
yeah. Yeah, well, at least Reed and Ben look like Reed and Ben. You know?
Yeah, they do.
So
I mean, like my buddy Raymond here, because somehow I don't know how you're doing it, man. You're continuing with the modern FF. I had to drop the slots run. I gave him a chance for 13 issues, and it's horrible. I couldn't stay with it, man. I don't know how you do it.
I couldn't stay with it either. It was god awful.
But Raymond,
I'm starting to lose my stuff on it.
I don't know how you can do it, brother. Just honestly.
Well, I am. My thought is, I follow the title, and unless you really crap out and really make it bad, I'm willing to give you a chance. But I'm about done.
Yeah.
Look, I gave it. I figured 13 was a fair number, and the reason why it had that short leash with me is because it's Dan Slott.
Slott screws up every single comic he's ever been on.
My thought with it is they finally. I mean, I guess my focus. They started on a roll with Ben and Alicia, which I thought should have been taken care of back in the Kirby days. I mean, you know.
Well, at least
marry them off.
Yeah, they should have been married.
They should have been married, and I think that's where I got it. But then the story, the storyline, and I kind of liked how they finally got the. I kind of where he finally got the blame off of Reed, and about the creation of the Fantastic Four. That was a decent storyline.
Yeah.
Storyline.
I did read that one where he's like, "Yeah, this is how everything happened."
Only because it was a current Marvel comic, dude. So only because it was bringing back the FF, giving them a title because they're the flagship of the Marvel fleet, and they never should be canceled. Even if I think it's a shitty comic, there should be a Fantastic Four comic being produced. It's just not right. So I said, all right, it's Slott. But there 2 times about 20-something years ago, he wrote a couple comic books I liked. Everything else is garbage. So I'll give it a shot because he's bringing back the FF. And what does he do? He makes it the Fantastic 44. It has shitty, inconsistent art all the way through it. Now, I'm kind of with you on them getting married, but the book is just horribly written all the way through. I just couldn't stand the characterization of anybody, including Ben. It was 13 was too much. So it was revolting. I just couldn't stay with it. If you can, that's fine. I just couldn't, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to lose it myself. So
can we just discuss that picture Liefeld did of Cap right there?
Oh my God.
This is it's Cap with breast enhancement surgery.
Liefeld. Classic.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They're not even symmetrical. Oh my God, they're not symmetrical.
Where did he think that was right? Seriously, he actually put his okay that was okay, and then Marvel was like, okay, this is were there blind people at Marvel back then?
I'm sure you're all familiar with there are pages and blogs and blogs filled with the worst Rob Liefeld stuff ever.
Yeah,
there's so much to choose from, and this comes pretty close to the top of the list.
Yeah, I would say that was first, honestly, because I've seen
it's all my fault, by the way. It's all my fault, right? Remember, everyone, I beg your indulgence. Remember when Peter Parker is gets his superpowers and he's going to the TV station to try to cash in on it, and the burglar runs past him, and then later, because he didn't stop him, he goes to kill Uncle Ben. Well, I was in an elevator with Rob Liefeld once. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
I don't even want to go there with a joke because it'll seem sick. I'm just saying I could have saved us all. This didn't. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. He was nice to me and all that stuff. I just don't like
the
it.
year that this came out, I actually got into an argument about him. Why did you give Cap tits? And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Dude, I held the cover up. Does this look like Cap looks like he has a paunch down there and doesn't need junk? And then you gave him a belly, and then on the top he tits. Does that symmetrical look like a dude to you?" And he's like, and then he goes, security, can you get him out? Like, dude, I'm actually just be honest with you because you're blind as hell. Okay.
Remember that line in Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
Deadpool makes a crack about this. Looks like it was done by some artist who can't draw feet.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I appreciate some of the stuff he did over the years. Some, not a lot. But that is that's unforgivable, man.
I never could stand him. I mean, I don't look. I'll go more controversial. I never liked Jim Lee's art, and people really like it. I can't stand it. It's better than Leefield, okay, but I don't like it.
Before Jim Lee became all corrupted and shit, he was actually a nice dude.
Oh, I know somebody that just I don't know how he is now, but I actually knew Brian Michael Bendis, and oh my God, what a dick!
I hate that. I'm sorry. I mean, use the word hate.
That doesn't surprise me.
I can't stand
know, right?
That fucking hack sucks. He's the worst.
Let's be honest.
Writer
Only
ever.
Jed.
Bendis has always been kind of a dick.
Yeah, I knew him when he worked in a comic shop, and
Really? Wow. He sucks. I can't stand him.
Yeah,
and he's now, even though they've ruined Legion a long time ago, something you and I both love, Raymond, Legion of Superheroes. His modern run on that, naturally, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but I happened to actually see some of it because of all these Legion groups we were part of. And I found someone posted something. Wildfire is one of my favorite Legionnaires. Mm-hmm. They posted what this new, horrible, shitty-looking Wildfire looks like, and a bit of dialogue of his. I swear to God, now he talks like Deadpool. I'm trying to make him like a Deadpool type in the Legion. Like,
in his defense, he was kind of a smart ass back then.
Not like Deadpool, though. Not even close. I'm talking really ridiculous stuff.
Yeah. They're making him oh God.
And stupid. The way he destroyed Superman when he did a Superman run.
Yes, even though I wasn't reading the run before that with Rebirth, not my bag. But a lot of people liked it because Peter Tomasi is a good writer. I didn't want to read it, but people really liked what he was doing with Superman. So of course DC comes along and says, "You know what? Screw that. I know a lot of you like it and stuff, but we got a big name writer. Business wants to come write Superman, so we're gonna give him."
The minute I saw that, I was like, "Yeah, rip."
Oh, I just bought a Bendis one, and I looked at it, and I said, "What is he trying to do here?" And I said, "Okay, I just wasted $4 on this."
I will say this: looking at a Bendis comic or is like trying to decipher code. Sometimes it's just like, okay, what is he trying to do here? Speak to me, please. Why are you so difficult?
Well, look, a lot of people like his stuff, so what can you do? Even people who like his stuff actually don't like his DC crap. And people who like his Marvel crap, which I don't, but it's popular. A lot of them do not like his modern DC trash.
Oh, he's terrible, DC, man. He should never been brought over to DC.
It sort of reminds me of, I don't know if any of you read any of the stuff that J. Michael Straczynski, creator of My Wonderful Babylon 5, which I love, started writing comic books. And every time he would write a character that he didn't create, like Spider-Man, Superman, or you name it, he wrote, some people like some of his comics. I get it. I hated his Spider-Man. People love it. I don't understand it.
I did
Brand New Day, by the way.
I did like his Superman somewhat. So
I didn't. I thought it was horrific. It was a piece of.
There was only like one or two things I liked about it, but the rest was kind of crap. So
he would write these characters. My point being is he would write Superman, Spider-Man, or whomever, or Batman when he did some of those Brave and the Bold things. He would write them like he never read a comic of them in his life. And you ask him about it, and people ask him, he would go, "Well, I'm just going to do my own thing with it."
That's exactly. I was at a con. I was at a convention one time. I asked him, "Why do you write Spider-Man or Superman or whatever like you don't know the comics? Because I know you're a comic book fan, dude."
He doesn't care.
And then he's like, "Well, I just wanted to write it like I came onto it fresh, like I didn't know it." So I was like, "So basically, you're gonna make the Fantastic Four movie with Black Johnny Storm, right?"
His Fantastic Four was ass, by the way.
I know it was.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I got some booze, and then there was a bunch of people that stood up and started clapping to me. So I was like, and then it was just, I was just like, because I'll be real, and then there's people that are like, yeah, dude, brother, preach on, and then you have some booze in the back, you know.
And yet, in fairness, he wrote a brilliant 12-issue series. Well, it took forever to come out, called The 12. I don't know if you've ever read it.
Yeah, I read that.
That was good because he took old timely characters nobody knew anything about and did a sort of a Watchmen-esque story, but not quite as ridiculously dark. It's pretty good.
It is, yeah.
Anyway,
Like, let's be honest, we all can't be like Ditko or Kirby or Lee or anybody in, like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, Steve. Well, Lee can't be like Lee either since he stole most of the stuff and never really
Yeah,
worked that much.
I
Sorry,
know.
don't get me started on Stan Lee, guys. I'm sorry.
I know.
Yeah, you won't get me on that one. Oh, let's see here. So, Ninja, when did you? Because I know we're all of relatively different ages here, and I've never really asked you when did you first start reading comics, man? Because I mean, you're a big comics guy.
Yes, I'd say probably about 15 years ago was when I started really getting into it, because particularly for the likes of Transformers, they had a lot of stuff that bridged into different, kind of ventures and outlines then for like the films and everything beforehand. But I've been kind of collecting them since I'm really young, and I've had like kind of on and offs, buying them and then reading them, and then like I've had family members that give me other ones like the likes of Watchmen and stuff. So I was very lucky in that form of being able to collect them and then sell them on. Then there's never been ones. I think Watchmen was probably the only one, along with a couple of other Transformers comics, that I really ever held on to because of the value that they might have in the future, really. And then some of them are just enjoyable stories. But in terms of like, I missed out on the Kirby and the Stan Lee age. So for me, it always felt like a strange thing, like that someone else was kind of, fraudulently doing those characters. I know that sounds weird, but like there was no one that ever picked up my interest in terms of like, oh yeah, definitely hold on to that comic for good, if you know what I'm saying. So
Sure.
Yeah.
I've been a long time doing it now, like, and like I said, I've been doing it since I'm kind of young, and I'd say 15 years ago really was when I kind of got really serious into buying certain ones, particularly for art and the likes of the story as well too. Like the Boom Studios Power Rangers in recent years has been quite good. They're really good, like, and then there's
I like the Boom comics with the Power Rangers in it, man.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Yeah,
they're quite
really
good.
They need to get, and here's my thing, and we touched upon this earlier, Ninja. And I would say this, they need to get some of the writers from Boom that write in the Power Rangers and either put them into a movie or have a movie lead into a TV series or some shit,
Yeah, well, you see, when they have the original characters, it's easy. In my opinion, it's easy to do at what they're doing. And I know we're in the Power Rangers fandom as well. Like you said earlier on there that you're a big fan of Tommy. There's a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about a vocal minority, that absolutely despise Tommy because they feel he's overused.
There's like two camps. There's people that hate Tommy and people that like Tommy.
Now I love Tommy. I'm on the team Tommy train. But like I've encountered people online that viscerally hate him, and I'm like, have you ever met him in person? The guy who plays Jason David Frank, and people are like, no, and I'm like, well, if you see the way he behaves with fans, he's fantastic, and he's a really affable, nice guy. I said, so I don't understand where the hate comes from at all. You know what I mean? Particularly as a guy like for himself. He was probably the most well-known within Power Rangers. He's carried the brand forward. I would say only for him the brand would be gone. It would be dead because
if he didn't go into like the spin-offs in the continuations, Power Rangers would have been dead because he's basically and I know some people have a word with me. He's basically carried Power Rangers on his back. Like
He has,
seriously.
and I mean,
Yeah.
he's gone into MMA fights, and his MMA
Yeah.
fights have been like former Power Ranger, Jason David Frank, and it's like, even then, he's promoting the brand. But I think some people just don't like the relationship that he had with Haim Saban, and that I think that some people just don't really like that type of idea. But for me, I think he's a go-getter, and I think that's why people don't like him. They don't like the fact that he's out there, he's out to make money, he's hungry, he wants to do the work. And I mean, even now, like he shot a cameo, I think, not too long ago as Lord Draken for the comic book series, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a guy that's interested. Like, to me, that's the type of guy you want in your fandom. That's the type of guy you want leading the ship, that wants to do it, and he wants the fans to be excited.
Yeah, and if he and I've often said this, he said, if they ever give me the chance to play Tommy again, I'll jump at it, because he loves being Tommy. And I've met him like twice. One of the nicest guys ever. And I asked him a bunch of geeky questions, and I was like, which is like your favorite version of Tommy? Because you got original green, you got white, you got the black, you got all those versions of Tommy, and he goes, it's kind of like picking one of your kids. You can't,
I said to him, I was like, when he played Dr. Oliver in Dino Thunder, I said to him, like, that was incredible. I said, for me, I said, because I grew up with you as green, I says, all the way into white, into turbo red, or into zero red, sorry, then into turbo red, and then when he reappeared then as this fully fledged like professor, I was like, that was really it was really inspiring, because like for me, there was a progression of a character that I loved growing up, and he became an adult, and it was like, right, I have responsibilities, and he's doing some good with himself to be a professor, and then also then being a Power Ranger, and I'm like, this is class, like this is something that I loved. But yeah, I think Boom Studios, I think for me, I like, they have a big catalog now on Kickstarter. I won't support Kickstarter with some of the practices that they've been up to over the last couple of years, but I do agree with you, Jed, insofar as that there are some writers there that would be good, but then again, like they messed around not too long ago with swapping powers between, say, Jason and Trini.
Yeah, I didn't like
Red Ranger was female, and it's just like,
I didn't like that much. But here's another thing, and I'm saying this, they then, like, in the Saban or whoever has it now, I forgot who has it now.
Hasbro
has it now. Hasbro would be smart to grab him and put him in charge of the Power Rangers.
Dude, like, Hasbro would be smart if they made a TV series that featured him, and just they played out the Draken storyline that was in the comic. Perfect.
And then he was like, because there's other people that have produced the show while they're still in it too. So you put him in charge of it. You don't make him the main focus. He's like how he was in Dino Thunder. The only reason why I'd watch Dino Thunder is because he was in the show. Okay, so you put him in charge of it. He's the Yoda. He would make him the Yoda of the new series, and then you have all these new kids that he's got to teach, like he did in Dino Thunder. But when in we all know he's going to become he's like they even said the Force, or what do they call it? The Force,
Morphin Grid.
The Grid knows, like the Grid knows he's an eternal Power Ranger. He can call upon that power whenever he wants from any form, and you just have him. And if the kids go to like get into too much, like I've already like thought this out, the kids get into over their head, and like at the end of one season or something, you have Tommy come in there and then like help the kids out, like in Cobra Kai, man. Like that would be so bloody awesome.
Exactly what I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about is, and this might be a bit of a tidbit for you, Jed, if you didn't know, what they're talking about, they're going to do a movie with Power Rangers again. And at the moment, what they're saying that they're going to do is they're going to feature, that's really nice comment there, Dave. I appreciate that.
So I would listen.
Yeah, I know, right, Steve?
I appreciate that. But what they're supposed to do now is they're supposed to be doing a movie exactly like what you talked about, Jed, except that they're going to cross Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with Time Force, in that they're going to bring back all of the original Rangers. Unfortunately, Tweet Trang is no longer with us, so we won't have
kind of passed away.
But apparently, what they're supposed to do is they're going to play future versions of themselves, and then like the Time Force team are going to go back to the 90s. that could be an interesting topic if they decided to do Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Time Force.
Ninja, if something like that happens, bring me on because I'll talk about that, brother.
Absolutely,
Okay.
dude.
Anything Power Rangers, hook me up, bring me. I'm there for it.
Sweet.
So, Raymond, they have their Power Rangers. You and I have our Legion of Superheroes. And actually, we get nothing new. At least they get new stuff for their Power Rangers.
Well, I love Legion too because, dude, I'm I'm one of those dudes that and I was like this when I was in school. I could go from the nerds, the geeks, to the gawk, the jocks, to and I'm like, hey, dude, yeah, that's cool, dude. What up, brother? I'm because I like everything. Like
when I was a kid, and way back when, I would buy 2 copies of the comic books.
Yeah,
no matter
one
what.
to read, one to put away.
No, one to read, one to cut the figures and the buildings and the backgrounds and have my own. I had my own little adventures.
Yeah, I had a friend that did that actually.
I thought, I can't. I'd set up my own little adventures with all my cut up little superheroes. As I grew up, then I started the collecting. After I learned a lesson about when my dad, he hated comic books, so the first time I said, I'm going to take a break, they ended up in the dumpster.
Yeah, I would buy 2 copies.
I had giant X. I had the debut issue of the new X.
Yeah, Giant X-Men 1.
Wow. That went into the dumpster.
Man. Oh,
that went into the dumpster.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Dude.
Yep.
Thank goodness back then they had actual real long, gigantic print runs of comics instead of now they barely print a few thousand. Nobody buys that crap.
But I have to say, it's been something, and that Raymond, that really strikes home for me because that's something that my father would often talk about insofar as that he would have collected things during the years, whether it be James Bond kind of dinky cars, or if it was the original Action Man and stuff or Spider-Man figures that were back from the day that were forced and out and just you couldn't get them ever again. He always felt sorry that he never held on to them and he gave them away then to family members. And it was something that he's always stuck with me and my family to say, if you ever collect anything, hold on to it because you never know. And I mean, I still have original Power Ranger Zords that
I had Matt Mason dolls I had Matt Mason.
You had Matt Mason dolls? Seriously?
I had Matt Mason action
Major
figures.
Batten.
Yep.
Raymond, did you have them on the card?
Say again?
Did you have them on the card?
What do you mean?
No, in a bubble with a card. They didn't sell them like that back then. They were in boxes.
Yeah, they were in boxes. I had
the 60s he's talking about, man. This is the 60s.
Yes, I'm dating myself.
Yeah, that was before my time.
I'm probably the oldest one in the panel.
Yeah.
I'm probably older than you, buddy, but Major Matt Mason, nobody knows who that is anymore, man.
I only know that because of my grandfather, because my grandfather liked that stuff.
And it wouldn't, the way it was made with the metal, with the wire skeleton and the rubber and the rubber toppings, that would never be made today. Not with the snowflakes.
No.
Dude, the price of figures, even with die cast in them, is astronomical. It costs so much. So to have those even now, I mean, that's a sign of the times as well that you guys had such good quality when you were growing up, and now it's flimsy materials that we're dealing with now. But I mean, I've talked about that recently in terms of there's not a lot of people buying these action figures and merchandisable stuff anymore because like we've been talking about on this panel, it's the decline in quality from these companies that really hurts these products, and it's also then turned fans away. Whereas Clobberin Times, Raymond, there yourself, even Jed, you guys would purchase these figures yourself 100% if the material was good. But it hasn't been. So, like Clobberin was talking on my show there yesterday, he's picked up some of the Walgreens Marvel Legends from the Fantastic Four. I'm sure he's going to be very happy to know that they're going to get another release in a retro style carton. And I'd say he'd be very happy with that, wouldn't you, Clobberin?
I want those. What are they going to look like, the old school stuff? Or
they are going to look like the old school stuff. There's a Dr. Doom that has been released as of now on retro card. I'll try to
shit! I got the last one.
I want those.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. That one has the bolts in the mask.
I think so. Yeah.
And it looks like it's on an older card. Like
yes, it's like a vintage card. It's a vintage card.
Hey,
Nice.
Clobby, do you have pictures of this? Can you show it?
I could try.
I'll search one up now. I'll search it.
Okay, I want to see these.
Or if you want, you can tell me what to search for. Maybe I can find it. But it's
Yeah.
either way, it's good if you want to find it. Because I want that. I know. Oh, you got it. Okay. Because I know there's a. Let's see here.
I'll share it now in a sec. Just give your mom to get computers just a little bit slower.
They've got a Nova figure coming out, the real deal Nova from 70s Richard Rider Nova, which I have the old Toy Biz one, but I want that new Marvel Legend one. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Club.
Yeah, buddy.
I was going to ask you, did you read? I just got it on Kindle because I saw it on another YouTube channel. Did you read Books of Doom?
I did not. I don't think I ever read that one. You like that one?
Oh yeah, you should get it.
I will. Well, I mean, it's some. I lost it.
No, that was me. Sorry, I turned it off because the picture was too small. I'll get it now. Hang on. Okay. You should be able to see the screen now.
All right. Let's see here.
Yeah, good to go. So there's the figure there that he comes with. He has various different things, and as you can see here, we have a classic Fantastic Four in behind.
Oh, I got those. I have those.
No, this is new. This is the old. It is based on the old Toy Biz card.
Yeah.
Oh, they're releasing the new older cards.
I gotta have this. And Purple, I don't know if you're still with us, but I know Purple, you gotta want this one too. She's got the greatest Doctor Doom statue ever, by the way. This is fantastic. Fun. But yes, I did see something about that. Is that out already?
I want that. Like,
yeah, that one's out already. The Doctor Doom is out 100%. And then as you can see, then I'll show you now on a better screen where it's a little bit better. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to order it. Okay.
Did they got the other Fantastic Four in the cards too?
Fantastic Four is because I'll zoom right in for you as well. As you can see, they're going to come in those uniforms. Now, I'd be curious to see if they do a remold for the head for Ben Grimm.
See, here's the thing about this. I hate those uniforms, but that is the way they came. But this Ben Grimm there, that's the first season of the Marvel Action Hour FF cartoon, which was trash. The second season is wonderful and fantastic. This is badass. Oh my God, it's got the
that's just
The new one they did was pretty good. This was 10 billion times better.
Wow. I like that.
Oh man,
dude, yeah. I'm gonna have to get that too.
I gotta have to order it because you can't. I mean, that's not a Walgreens, is it? Or no?
Oh, I'm not sure now at the moment. I know that in Ireland, I'm able to get this. I am in one specific shop, but I'm not sure about you guys if it's exclusive to a certain store with you.
Yeah, I saw it online a while back and just totally forgot to order it. I'm just gonna go ahead.
I randomly find stuff like this in Walgreens all the time.
Oh, we're getting an answer, my good buddy. I have a. In addition to the expertise of Ninja here, who really knows his stuff, I also have another buddy who is an action figure expert. See, oh yeah. So he says, so I had to pick up 2 Novas, dude. If you do, man, I want it. You found Nova. You found Nova, and he's also telling me about it. Chris Crockett. He said, no, it's not a Walgreens. No, okay. I probably.
Okay.
Thanks, man, Chris. I'm glad you're out there, brother. My good friend Chris Crockett's out there listening to me, and he yo, bro, thanks for that. So yes, I must have it, and thanks, Ninja. That's because I totally forgotten about that one.
It's a beauty. It is very nice, and I have to say it's a nice Doctor Doom figure. Like they've made a brand new mold that they released there just last year, I think it was, and it's a fantastic mold. And the original one that they had an alternate head, and there was kind of like it's hard to explain, but it was kind of very reminiscent of the cartoon. And then there was another head then that was more reminiscent to the comics. So I would say you would even like that one, Clobby, because that one was cool.
Yeah, man, I would love that one. Chris, brother, hey, man, another, we've been spent too long since we hit Twin Peaks. I'm coming to get you, man. We're going. I don't know if you guys got a Twin Peaks over on your side of the world, or any of you all been to Twin Peaks, but it's not just a David Lynch TV show.
What is a Twin Peaks to you? What is that?
Are you familiar with the restaurant chain called Hooters?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Same but better.
Oh, right. Okay. I've never heard of that.
I think, in my opinion, the food's a little better, and of course, the outfits and the ladies are nice. Of course, nothing wrong with
Yeah.
Hooters.
I'm going to do a bit of research on that one now.
Now again, I know it's fairly big in the States here. I know Hooters is everywhere in the world. I don't know if there are Twin Peaks everywhere.
Columbia. I'm in Arizona. I've never seen one here.
You got a couple.
We don't have a Hooters.
I've never seen them.
No Hooters. You got
Hooters. Yeah, they're all over Arizona.
Oh, you got some Twin Peaks there, I think.
Okay.
We don't have one Hooters in Ireland.
You don't have one Hooters at all?
Not one.
Wow, I did not know, because I know it is in other countries. I'm right, isn't it? I mean, it's not just in the U.S. because you've heard of it.
Oh no, I've heard of Hooters. I've been to Hooters in the U.S. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Twin Peaks is, in my opinion, now I love those Hooters outfits. Don't get me wrong, to be a toxic male and all, but I do love the outfits at Twin Peaks, because again, there's some nice standard outfits, and then they do like special things. They have bikini week. They have lingerie, especially during the Valentine's week and stuff.
I'm just googling some of the images here, and yeah, you're definitely right. Yeah, there's some good stuff here.
Yes, and the food's okay too. That's some good food.
Okay.
There's a Irish place in Maryland that I don't know. I forgot the name of it, but yeah,
Tilted Kilt.
Tilted Kilt.
In
Orlando.
Yeah, I've been there. They've got one in Maryland, just north of me. There was I forgot where there was a Hooters in. I know that surprisingly there's one in Maryland. Definitely nothing in DC.
Well, Twin Peaks doesn't have as much.
The problem with Ireland is you wouldn't have, there's a lot of people here that buy into the third wave feminism, and you wouldn't have a lot of people in good enough shape for these places,
Back in the 90s, there was this action, and this is way before any kind of, obviously there was still pansy, wussies out there, but it wasn't like today. But there was this one jackass dude who tried to even go as far as the Supreme Court to try to make Hooters have to hire a dude. So,
I remember that.
I remember that.
And I was like, dude, look, don't embarrass yourself, jackass. And, they can't. And they tried to make it legal and everything, like you shouldn't be able to discriminate. Look, yes, discriminate. We go in there. No one forces you to go to Hooters, jackass.
Yeah, and if it would be sausage or like schlongs.
Do your own little dude restaurant if you want, and we won't go to that. But
Yeah.
Hey, no. And they tried, by the way. They've tried. By the way, it just goes to show you. I know.
Okay, Steve.
I know men and women aren't different and everything, but and they're all exactly the same. But they've tried those restaurants with just the dudes waiting and stuff.
It didn't go well. It never went well.
Yeah.
No.
They didn't make as much money as the women's restaurant.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
no.
No. Right.
No.
Guys,
they call it package your son.
Whereas women, some women will even, will go to Hooters and go to, Twin Peaks. And
I've had female friends that actually go to Hooters with me before. And we just sit there and drink and talk and watch sports.
Isn't it interesting how some females don't want you to go to Hooters, isn't it?
Some don't. Yep. I remember when it first started, like 1990, we got our first one down here when it was in New Orleans. And we thought, wow, what is this? I can't believe this is happening. And they would do hula hoops. The waitresses did the hula hoop for you by the table and stuff. So, yeah. Now it's and then I end up. And by the way, in the 90s, yes, I admit it. I pretty much lived at Hooters at night.
Oh yeah, dude.
I know it's horrible.
I knew some of the waitresses in there, so I just hung out with them and shit.
I know some of the ones. I'm still in contact with some of the ones I've made friends with in the 90s. Yeah, Twin Peaks, the series. Oh, you mean ex-Mescot Iron Man, soon to be home away from home? Yes, he will be getting and it's my fault. I feel bad. I guess Gary's getting trolled over there or something. Sorry.
I've seen it's a Doctor Who stream, so I'm curious if it is that, because
God, Noel's idiots have gone over there to bottle Gary.
funny. It's funny that Steph was saying there earlier on when she was talking about the trolling going on that's in relation to Star Wars, but it seems to be kind of everywhere at the minute, and particularly within the Doctor Who fandom as well too. That they have just gone overloaded now. But it seems like it's very curious that these people have essentially gotten what they wanted out of a property like Doctor Who, and they're still not happy, and they're attacking the likes of Noel and Gary. It's very strange to me.
And me on my first stream too, because
Really?
it was completely about Doctor Who. Yeah.
Hail Tim Myers. Oh wow, a show me's that's like Hooters. Cool. I've never heard of that one. So you're saying Ninja that the doc? Well, I guess we know that Doctor Who. A lot of these Doctor Who trolls are terrible. But what are they going after Derry for? Is he talking? Oh yeah, that's right. He is talking about some of the stuff going on with Jodie. So
yeah, he has a Doctor Who stream, and they've been very vitriolic towards the likes of Bounding in the comics as well too over the last couple of weeks, which is, there's a lot of gaslighting that goes on with these people that are very, anti or pro, I should say, Jodie Whittaker, because it's near sociopathic behavior. It's very unusual, personally, I think.
Yeah, it really is. And by the way, yesterday before I joined you, Ninja, I was at my buddy Cardinal Sins stream. Is like his third stream, so when if something curious happened, and I'm not saying it was trolls, but they had I don't know how long we've been talking, and all of a sudden in the chat pops up. People, their avatars are always of each doctor and they were all, I had first doctor, second doctor, all the way up to like 13, including one of them being Jodie. But the first one popped in his name was Doctor Who. Then the next one, first doctor, second doctor, and they're all just saying, they weren't like saying nasty stuff, but they were just kind of saying, I don't know, silly, nonsensical stuff, and they were going through the chat. It was nothing horrible, but I'm like, what is this? Some kind of troll thing? What is this? They're all of them. They got all the doctors pictured, and they're all just saying silly stuff that does. I mean, and Cardinal acted like he sort of knew them, so I didn't say much. I did kind of ask, is this like a trolling thing? What's going on?
Yeah, on my stream last week for WandaVision, Clobberin was there, and they had that one idiot that came in and said he hated the MCU, and we're like, that's cool, dude, you can like that, and he just got progressively worse. Like,
right, we were nice to him and trying to engage in the conversation, and he was just back and forth. And then all of a sudden, started calling us all kind of nasty names and shit. Like, troll.
Wow,
it got really bad.
It's really weird. Like, and I mean, as you've said, Clobberin, you've talked about the years you've done radio and stuff, and it's another thing when you come onto YouTube and you've got. And I mean, look, everyone's got their right to their own opinion on that, but there are people that take things seriously overboard, and I mean, they take very much so rational thoughts go out the window with some of these people, and it's quite strange. But I think sometimes you just have to look at it and just cut it and just say, right, that's grand, out you go now, or because it's only going to hurt your channel. And I mean, the bigger picture is that whilst everyone has free speech, the thing is that YT and Google are looking in at the chats, and that can affect how you get on and that as well, so
yeah,
that's just how these things go.
Yeah, you gotta watch them, you gotta police them for sure. So I don't know, but RN, Raymond, you RN, I was sometimes say, hey RN, when you're in the chat. But Raymond, he polices the big time, which because he wrenches for Doomcock, and that's just as crazy a chat as you can get.
Oh yeah, Dooms can get crazy sometimes.
I'm part of a great team, and I'm honored to be part of that team.
No, he's a great dude, Doomcock, and he does get a lot of heat, unfairly, I think, personally, and a lot of people that come in and talk an awful lot of nonsense. He's a guy. He's a guy to me that loves Star Wars. He loves Star Trek. He's very much so a big proponent for the fandom, and he's been someone. Doomcock has been someone I've been watching for a very long time in terms of YouTube terms for the last couple of years, and he's been on the money with all the Star Wars stuff he's been saying. I 100% agree with him. And I think, like anything, you're never going to 100% agree with somebody on everything, and I mean that's the way it is.
Yeah,
But I think you still have to be respectful of it. And I think what he's done for Star Trek in terms of pointing out what's going on, for what he's done for Star Wars, for pointing out what's going on, has been absolutely amazing. And I mean, his Exosound stuff with Nerdrotic is fantastic. I'm a big fan of that. So, fair play to you, Raymond, for being involved in that, because it's a very seamless show and fair deals.
Oh, I'm honored. I'm honored to do it. And I've got a great team. I'm part of a great team of mods that we just we don't suffer any fools.
Yeah.
And let Doomcock do his thing.
Yeah. No, you're right.
But because it is such a busy chat, you did get some crazy crap in there a lot, right? That we don't see maybe if we're just sitting there in the chat, or what?
Yeah, we're pretty good at we're pretty good at swatting the trolls. Stella, Heather, Sandra, Lori, and Mary Ashmead, and myself, and Tyron. It's a great team.
Well, that's excellent because it takes a bunch, I guess, when you got to chat that. Look, when it comes, I don't know how you do it because that chat, I'll pop in, say hello and stuff, and then I'll sit back and listen because I can't follow it all. And I feel bad because I know I'm missing. I'll try to say hello to as many people as I can, but it goes so fast you can't see everyone.
Yeah, it's like Gary's chat.
Yeah, well, his
Gary's chat.
Now, some people put, like, I think when I go to Echo Base, they put their chat on slow mode or something. So I guess you could do that, but not everyone does it. And man, Gary's or Doomcock's been Doomcock's been a good buddy, and so is Gary, by the way. Love those guys. They have those chats. Whew, man, I don't know how you guys do it. It's because I rinse for Paulie, and Paulie's, of course, like me, a newer channel. He's had a great show last night. Had a good bunch out there. And
that was an awesome show last night.
It was when he was moving pretty good. He had Tom on there with Midnight's Edge, and it was moving pretty good, but not like any. Obviously not the kind like Doomcocks or Gary's or some of those other.
Or Friday Night Tights.
Right, is that what I'm saying? Yeah, Gary and those guys. Yeah, those tights. I mean, they move fast. So you guys do an awesome job there, Raymond.
Thank you. But I'm part of a team.
Well, and I like to put it like Christopher Reeve did at the end of Superman 1. No, sir, don't thank me, Warden. We're all part of the same team. My happiest moment in life.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. But let's see here. Where was we? Well, we're almost at the 3-hour mark, gents, and I know I've taken up a lot of your time. Or as Columbo, I know you're a very busy man, and I don't want to take up any more of your time. Oh, but let me just ask you one more question, sir. And then I want to. Where'd you get those shoes? I can't do it like that. I can't do it like Tim Cock does. He's a master at voices. He's the man.
Yeah.
But I guess we can start making the rounds and saying our farewells. Unless anyone's got anything else you want to pour out there, because we are open for business. Ninja, anything?
I haven't got anything. I think we covered a lot between yesterday and today, and I have to say I really enjoyed this chat. I mean, these 3 hours, these nearly 3 hours, has absolutely flown in yet again, I've totally enjoyed it. And I just want to say thanks very much for having me on, and I very much so appreciate it. And the panel, Raymond, first time meeting you, very nice to meet you, and Jed.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure with Jed. So much. Thanks very much, guys. And Clobberin times, obviously.
Pleasure meeting you, Jed.
I get told I talk too much sometimes, so.
As the new
on your back, buddy.
As the new guy, I figure I'd just listen and then come in when I needed to.
Well, Raymond, I've done that too. I got thrown into the deep end. My first live stream was with Ninja Night.
Mm-hmm.
It was with Lee. It was with Noel. It was with Balzac. It was like all these and I think Rabbi was there. So it was all these big personalities, and I was like the little guy that just got on, and everybody was like, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? But now I'm like, I'm here, and I'm like used to it now. I'm like,
Well, look, I cannot thank you, all enough, except for Jed. I tried to cut him off the stream several times, but he kept
See, that's what I'm saying. I talk too much, so
Hit him with the mute. Hit him with the mute button.
Yeah,
I got your back, Jed.
Nah, he knows I love. I have to pick on him. No,
we pick on each other all the time.
Jed, I love you, man. I'm glad you're here.
I know.
Hanging out with me. I'm going to kill you later, but that's okay.
Not the first time you said that, though.
But again, Raymond, anything? Well, obviously, tell us a little bit about your book since you're here, because everyone, you are an author. Give us a little bit more. We've talked about it once before.
Actually, there is a lot. Well, my first book came out last year. It's called All's Fair, a Dolphin Wars novel. My website is, I'll put it on there.
Yeah. I was just about to say, can somebody get his links for him?
There's a link in the description below, by the way.
Okay. You got to teach me how to do that, by the way.
I will.
If you go, I made sure I put the link to the book in the website.
There you go. You
It's
got
also a place where you can. I'm trying to get it where you can. We can discuss the book. I put out some information. The splash page on my Facebook page and on the web page was graciously donated by an amazing YouTuber, Fet for Hire, who's also graciously given me cover art, so it's for the next book. So besides trying to get this book out, I am in the editing phase for the second one. I'm hoping for a March release, but my computer decided it's acting up. Anybody ever see lines on the display?
Yes, I have a 10-year-old computer. I know you're woeing,
This is 2 months old.
Oh shit!
Oh, it might be the video card then.
Okay.
It could be either the video card, it could be a memory problem, it could be a monitor. It's PCs are like that.
Yeah, and this is an all-in-one.
Wait, Retro, are you still there? Retro, you still there? Pop up in chat for a second if you're there, buddy.
Retro, if you're still there, he
can hook you up.
He knows that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it too, but it could be a numerous amount of things.
Yeah.
It could be that the plugins in the back of your computer aren't plugged in properly, Yeah.
Well.
Retro's here. Did you hear what he just said? Can you repeat it?
Yeah, I've got lines on my monitor and one little firework explosion stuck on my monitor. And this is an all-in-one, so it's kind of like, oh my god.
That's what I have, an all-in-one, a onesie I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now my editor gave me the edit of my second book, Peacemaker, and I'm working on the on fleshing it, taking her comments, fleshing it out, adding a few more ideas that I've gotten since she got it. So like I said, I'm working on a March release, and it's going to be good. It's roughly, it's a rough description for those who don't have the book or would like to hear more. It's the first one is concerning the Earth-Mars, an Earth-Mars war with my own slant. And there are dolphins. There are alien dolphins in this.
That sounds cool, man.
The second one is going to take the lead character, and he has a family and gets involved in a further escalation, which pretty much nearly takes out the whole human race. So it's I think it's a very exciting sequel, and I'm looking forward to getting it out there.
Indeed. By the way, your better half has shown up, the wonderful Sandra Feliciano. Welcome.
Hey, honey. Hey, honey.
Hey, indeed. He's behaving, I promise.
He's behaving. Yes,
he's been behaving.
Hi,
sweetie.
Hey, honey.
Retro just said hi.
Yeah.
Take it the screen issue is happening from a cold boot.
Let's see. Take it the screen.
Code boot. Yeah. Is it when you're booting it up?
Yep, when it powers up. And I attached another monitor to it, so it's not the system, because this isn't on that other monitor.
See, I knew Retro would know right away. Because it could be so many things, but Retro's better at that.
Well, I've got an appointment at Best Buy. I just don't want to lose everything.
Yeah, I'm just saying, be careful with Best Buy because sometimes they'll make more problems for you.
Maybe well,
Okay.
maybe badly. Well, he has been really mean to us, Sandra, to be honest. He's been insulting us and calling.
Yeah, he said he hates Howard the Duck and all this other stuff, man. So kind of hurt my feelings there.
Sorry.
Called us names and everything. To be honest.
Actually, Howard has one redeeming quality. He lived in Cleveland.
True.
Right?
He lived in Cleveland, and Cleveland needs love, all the love it could get.
That's true. He might have even been a Browns fan. So,
yeah.
There you go.
Take care, Steve.
All right,
Steve.
brother. I'll be back here tonight, man. Let's see. Let's go around the horn a little bit. Ninja, anything to plug? Plug your channel and tell us if you got anything coming up.
Yeah, so my channel's a bit mental insofar as you never know really what you're going to get. I talk about action figures, movies, TV series, politics a little bit for here in Ireland of what's going on. Laugh at Clown World as well too is another thing that I do. And various other things to talk a little bit about sport also. I'm a big fan of sports. So, you get a bit of everything on my channel. There's a couple of videos in the pipeline. I've dropped 2 today. And there's a couple of videos in the pipeline for tomorrow and the following days. So I appreciate it. I appreciate Clobberin Times having me on. It's been great to be on here tonight with Jed and Raymond as well too. So very much so appreciate it. I love the chat here now tonight.
Dude, open invite anytime I'm here. That's why I do this Thursday one earlier.
Thank you.
I know a lot of you and like you and my friend Purple and others is so late over there for them and stuff. So, dude, anytime you got if you let me know you're available because I know you're a busy man, but when you're available to come in and hang with us, buddy, man,
absolutely
please do. Love having you here. Raymond, again, the book, we've got the info on that, man, and you got the book, the second one coming up. Jed. What's coming up for you? Nothing. I'm sorry. Jed doesn't have a channel, folks. He's quit YouTube. No, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, let's not forget. Let's not forget who coaxed you into this new time slot.
Who?
Me, because he goes, I don't know. I haven't done things that early.
Forget who?
You.
I forget what you're talking about.
No, I know you always forget. That's the reason why I got to remind you all the time.
What you got coming up, buddy? I know you're going to be streaming at some point again, huh?
Well, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to do it tomorrow or Saturday because, I can't get Ravi on Friday. I can't get Tom on Friday. I've been trying to get Ravi and Tom to come on, but Ravi goes to the worship. Tom does Midnight's Edge and Friday Night Tide. I may have to move things to Saturday. So.
Keep me posted, bro.
Guys, can I ask one question?
Yes, please.
Sandra may throw something at me once I ask this question.
Okay.
What's a good way to get started, especially when you don't have that much content?
Oh, you mean me?
No. The YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no right
answer. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, there's no right answer to that. But if I can't do videos, so I've been mostly doing live streams because my computer is 10 years old. It's senile and stuff now. So I need to get a new one, but I don't have the money for it. So I've been doing streams on my phone and my tablet. So that's how I've been getting the word out there, you know. So.
I think, and there's that. Again, I'll defer to Ninja to this in a sec on that. But I think, you just start making. You can make some short videos. I haven't done any short videos. I just stream.
Yeah.
But Ninja does videos, and a lot of people do videos. That's really the best thing. The best route.
I would love to do videos, but I can't.
I might start doing it eventually, putting some of my old shows on. But I just stream. But Raymond, if you got, if you have some subject matter that's good fodder for small videos, that might be a good way to start. Like maybe, I don't know about necessarily excerpts from your book, or maybe excerpts from other writings, or just stories. Just bounce things off, or you could just do commentary. But small videos are good.
Yeah.
Or
they got to be at least 5 to 10 minutes to get any visibility on it, though.
Okay. Ninja, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think small videos, shorter videos are very good as well, and it does help to pump the channel up and to move it into, suggested and stuff like that. And you do get suggested in these videos, and you do get a lot of views then for them, particularly because the live streaming is great. It's great for the watch time, but also the small videos are good there for getting the video and particularly the channel out there.
Okay.
And in Raymond, you can also promote like you said, read like maybe a 2-minute, 3-minute excerpt from your first book to get people interested. So when the second one comes out, they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this book," and then they love the first book, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, I'm super pumped for this."
Yeah,
It's a good way of promoting all your other stuff you have coming out too.
and I thought about that too.
And you're still
Yeah.
getting something thrown at, so you'll know. I'm warning you now. You're going to get something thrown at you anyway.
Yeah, you will. You will like either be YouTube or like us. So you know.
Oh man! And I
'Cause
guess
Well,
Mama Susan loves to throw things at you. So.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. You've made me very welcome.
well, dude, you are always welcome here, my friend. And I hope we get a chance to talk some FF and some Legion more. We didn't get to do it much today, but we will because there's always so much to talk about with our love of those comics. So,
Retro just said the first thing to do is do a BIOS reset and default it to see if the clears the issue with the internal monitor. Okay.
Okay.
So that will help
I'm
you
a computer moron, so I'm going to probably have to DM him.
Get hold of. Are you on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
Me?
Yeah.
you on Twitter? He's on Twitter.
I'm also on
Twitter. Well, Retro's on Facebook, so get a hold of Retro on Facebook, and he'll help you through it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Retro Dickie. Appreciate it. I'm going. Let's see. Tonight, everyone, I'll be on at 9 p.m. Central. And then Saturday night back here with the wonderful, magnificent Raquel Briggs with our Saturday night Star Trek, reviewing original Star Trek, all of Star Trek, actually, all of it from 1966 to 2005, only real legit Star Trek. And then Monday night again, it'll be back to the big comic, Monday Night Comics thing. Hopefully the wonderful Purple will join me and Loki. We'll see. Anyway, thanks, everyone. Please go to Jed's channel, subscribe, Ninja's channel, subscribe. And when he starts a channel, Raymond's channel. And go check out Dolphin Wars. I want to thank the great Steve Mitchum for being here. Thank you, my friend. Let me get some thank yous in there. I want to thank Retro Dickie, my good friend. Thank you for coming in, buddy. I appreciate seeing you. Dee Myers was here. I believe Tim Myers was here. Hey, Tim, were you here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tim was here.
There he is, Tim Myers, my friend that I met yesterday on Cardinal Show, by the way. I enjoyed hanging out with you, my brother. Appreciate it, man. Let's see here. Who else we got? We got Chris, the great Chris Persia was here. Yo, my brother. I know you're busy over there at Gary's, man, so I appreciate you popping in as always. I believe Eric K stopped in earlier. Eric, love you, bro.
Yeah, you did. I think I saw him there.
Absolutely.
It was at the beginning, I think.
Smart Steve 68, a good old buddy, and he was here. I always miss people, but I try not to. I want to get him all the great Canadian Spider-Man who does whatever a Canadian Spider can. And we appreciate him. And let's see, Kickley, my great old buddy Kickley, yo, brother, man, I'm just so pleased to have you here. I know my brother Chris is out there lurking, my local, but dude, Twin Peaks soon, man, on me. Let's see. Again, I don't think I mentioned. I think I got Dr. Herky Monkey. I don't want to finish the show without saying that again.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I missed earlier. Our good buddy Im was here. I can't pronounce his name, but we love him just the same.
I call him
Big thanks to the wonderful Stephanie Janizek for joining us, my good friend. Yeah. And again, Ninja Knight, you are the man. I can't wait to talk to you again, my friend Raymond. You are also the man. I cannot, and you're the Dolphin too. And I can't wait to talk to you again, buddy. But Jed, you could I'm just kidding. Jed, I didn't really mean to you today. I just want you to know I meant everyone. I mean, didn't mean any of it. Buddy, I thank you for hanging out with me, man. Jed,
oh, dude,
much appreciated.
I'm always here, man, for whenever you need me.
Good night, Sandra.
Oh, and you know what, Sandra, I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh, Phoenix Agent R just dropped in the last minute. Hello there, Sandra Feliciano, the wonderful better half of the Felicianos and Great Wrench as well. Sandra, thank you so much. Look, he wasn't all that bad. He didn't
there's Ursh right there. There's Ursh right there.
Oh, Esh Singh was here. Esh.
There's Esh.
Thank you so much. I hope I didn't miss anyone. But again, Sandra, don't be too mean to him. He was all right. He did.
Yeah, don't hit him over the hand with the frying pan tonight. Give him one night off.
Certainly not a frying pan. All right, everybody. Thank you all much. And let me play us out. Thanks to the great Loki for this intro, outro. Good night, everyone. with you. You're coming with us.